Hey everybody, did you fucking miss us? It's been 5 weeks since the last time we talked. Remember, we talked about Spider-Man with Stevie. Good times.
And then Stevie was so horrible as a guest.
We canceled him.
We canceled the podcast forever.
We broke up, ...
Also, I think it's been more than 5 weeks.
I think it's been just 5.
So let's see.
Hold on. We're racing.
December 13th, I think, was like the last episode that came out.
Doubt.
Or no, was it the 20th?
Hold on.
It was the 20th.
20th. And today is the 29th. So, yeah, it's about 5 weeks.
Mm-hmm. It'll be the 6th week when this episode comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And why was that, you ask? Well, a number of things happened. First of all, Christmas happened.
Yeah.
So we were going to
Christmas happened. We were going to take our normal that day off, but also this Christmas this year was unfortunate because the 25th was on a Saturday.
Yep.
And then the 1st of January was on a Saturday.
Now I know what you're thinking. We have done episodes of this podcast right before going to a party before, and I think we did that last year for New Year's as well. Or something like that. Now, I will tell you this. The real reason is that Ian was sick with COVID-19.
Yes. Thank you, Mother. I went 2 years. I went all fucking like 2 almost like years of the COVID pandemic not getting it. Mm-hmm. And then because now if you go to grocery stores, if you spend a lot of time in a grocery store,
yep.
There's a lot of anti-maskers coming out about again.
Of course.
But my mom says every day she gets about 7 to 9 people.
Of course.
She used to get 2 to 3. And they were women. Now it's 7 to 9, and it's all men.
Mm-hmm.
And so they get hyper aggressive, and the store won't do anything about it.
We love that for society. Mm-hmm. So Ian got COVID, and then it's like, okay, well, what happened next week? Well, as you can tell by my basement looking different, should be different out here. So we had to take down these half walls here. So if you notice, there is a thing missing and a pole here that used to look different. We took those down that week. Mm-hmm. Then we got the floor done as well, which also took time. And also I was sick. Because we could have just recorded in my bedroom, but then I was feeling sick. And then also one of those times I wasn't feeling sick, but Ian had stayed up till 10 in the morning and could not do anything for the rest of the day.
It was 9 in the morning.
Sorry,
Nathan
Ian.
texted me at 5. Or what did you actually send me about?
Okay, hold on. Let me go back because you tried to act like, well, Nathan texted me at this time. And I'm like, Ian, I fucking texted you like 8 times that day. Okay. So I send you, first of all, on January 9th, I sent you the picture, Dead by Daylight removes ability for Texas Chainsaw Massacre's Leatherface to wear victims' faces following complaints of blackface harassment.
It's kind of funny.
So the reason why,
honestly, I get it. I get that it's racist. That's kind of funny.
It is funny, and that's why I sent it to you. But the truth is, like, yeah, people were just doing it on purpose and harassing black.
I'm sure they were putting it on and then just saying the N-word all the time.
Yes. So at 2:47 p.m., I send you pod at 6, I think, and then at 4:30, I text you. If you don't want to, it's fine to put it off another week. So that's 4:30, and then Ian's like 7 p.m.
I just woke up.
Let's put it off another week.
Okay, so here's the thing. This is why I thought that your first message was at 5 or whatever, because the way Snapchat works, is it only unless you like slide over to the side to see the time. It just says on the notifications on iPhone. Yeah. It just says the last one I got. So it said, to me, it looks like I woke up at 5:47 or whatever, and you sent me all 3 messages together.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, yeah. I had sent you 2 at 4:30 and 1 at 2:30.
Yeah. So yeah, I gotta.
Oh yeah, did you see the clip I sent you yesterday of Crony?
Oh no, I didn't watch it.
Okay, I hand clipped it because YouTube lets you do that now. So she's playing Sonic Adventure 2,
Uh-huh.
and she gets to the I've come to make an announcement part.
I can't. It's not letting me lower the volume, so now we're dealing with this ad.
Okay.
She's just laughing.
She knows, dude.
Everyone knows, though.
Of course.
Like, at that point, there's people who don't know that that's a full fucking video.
So she actually made other references.
Yeah.
She said, "I miss my wife tails," which is also fucking hilarious.
But there's, like, people who, like on Tumblr.
Yeah, who just know the piss droplet scene.
Or not the piss droplet scene. It's the picture of Eggman standing between Rouge and Shadow, saying, "What the fuck are you two talking about?" And people use that one constantly. And then people were always like, there was like this one fucking like legendarily long Tumblr post, like literally like 20 scrolls to get through it. Whereas people arguing about the stupidest shit. And then someone's like, do any of you know the context for the real scene? And then they put the video, and then people started talking about that.
That's great.
It was like one long group chat with a bunch of strangers.
That's awesome. Because that bit, what the fuck are you two talking about? It's like, they're talking about fucking his wife, right?
Something like that.
Yeah. He said it was this
Or no,
big.
it's when he's talking about pissing in the IHOP. He's like having a flashback talking to Maria, and he's like, "Maria, I want to piss in an no, I want to piss in a Hot Topic."
Yeah.
And then he's like, and then it just like fades in, and then Rouge is now standing where Maria was, and he just goes like, "I still feel the same to this day, Rouge." She's like, "You still want to pee in that Hot Topic?" Yeah. And then they just keep going on about like peeing in various places, and that's when Eggman says, "What the fuck are you two talking about?"
Yo, fucking Alfred.
Yeah.
King shit.
It sucks. I feel like Ryan Congo Show, the guy who did Mr. X.
Yeah.
In I feel like he did a great job.
Yeah.
I feel like Alfred would have killed that character.
Of course.
And I think that's they knew that it's like someone else has to take over because we can't just have Alfred.
He can't just be the funniest.
Yeah.
I also think
they're all very funny. It's just that he like commits so much more than the rest of them.
I also think Chase Clown Depot as Memphis, Tennessee is so funny. He streams as under the name Clown Depot. He's great.
Memphis, Tennessee.
My name is Memphis, Tennessee.
Where are we dropping, boys? Yeah, well, anyways, go check out Snapcube.
Yeah, if you haven't checked out Real Time Fandub, I mean, first of all, you certainly have, but
you've certainly
check out
seen
some of the
clips.
There are I think the Sonic ones definitely shine the best, more so than like not that the other ones are bad.
I think the Sonic one is easier because they're less like it's less of a serious thing and like shorter cutscenes.
Yeah,
but because Resident Evil 2 is supposed to feel like those cutscenes are supposed to make it feel like a movie.
Yeah.
And there's like stuff that is just like quite literally like there's scenes where it's just all it is Leon or Claire grunting as like fucking they get their ass kicked.
Yeah.
And then they just had to like adjust for that. And then they also had to cut around it where it doesn't make sense. Like there's a scene where the scene where like Mr. X gets killed.
Yeah.
And then there's a scene where Mr. X is walking around right after. Because Penny did her best to splice together the best of the A scenarios and the B scenarios and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then that when they made Ada fucking like a femboy inspector or whatever.
Yeah, that's funny. I didn't watch the Until Dawn ones yet.
I didn't watch them either because I just don't really like that game that much.
I think Until Dawn's good.
But I like the title of it. Isn't it like Spook Mountain or something?
They did 2 parts, but it's like, yeah, in the something of Spooky Mountain.
Yeah.
Because all of them have a weird subtitle.
Yeah. I wish they would do like, because I know it's like the improv stuff, the improvised fan dub stuff is all like Snapcube is doing. Mm-hmm. Like I wish they made like a channel together and would, like maybe try to throw one out once a month, but I think they just don't want to get burned out.
Exactly.
Yeah, and also they're all just like normal people. Like I think like Penny's the only one who's like actually a streamer.
No.
Like a full-time streamer. I mean.
So, Penny's the full-time streamer and like video content creator, but like I think Clown Show does stream and also like work part-time, I think, or he may be making enough money off streaming to like live modestly. But like Alfred, he's like an artist full-time, and he also streams and stuff.
So he draws a lot of furry porn. Nice.
Yeah, I mean, he's gay as fuck, and you know it.
I'm sure they all are.
They all are, yeah.
If one of them was straight, I would be surprised.
Maybe whoever plays Rouge is straight.
There's like two. Like
you gotta have a token straight in a most like queer group.
Yeah. I'm sure that's a very straight woman voice.
Yeah.
Not to be like, oh, your voice isn't gay enough to be gay, but like,
not to just fucking.
Also, like, she plays like the straight women characters.
All the token straight characters.
Yeah, Rouge the Bat.
Yeah.
And Ada Wong. Mm-hmm. I think she played Ada as well.
I don't think she did. I think Ada was someone else. But let's get right into the fucking show, shall we? So, it's been a little while. We explained why. It's rough. We're going to be back. I do want to make a handful of promises right here at the top. Because let's say that this hiatus was because everything before this was season 1 of the Media Hole podcast. All those 100 episodes. This is a fucking One Piece.
Yeah.
The next 100 or so, let's call that season 2. And so we're going to make some plans right here off the top. I think next week we should do the Holiest 2021. Just do our top 5 games. I don't want to do movies and shit.
I have an idea. Did you see the thing Penny Parker did for her 2021 games?
It was like a tier list, right?
Yeah.
We could do that.
So I already made one. So you should make one. And
so I'll make one
next week.
Awesome.
Because also, here's what I did. Because I played games that weren't from this year, I put them on the tier list as well.
Okay.
So just think back about what you played this year.
Yeah.
And throw it on the tier list at whatever position you got.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah. I didn't put Among Us. Actually,
that was 2020.
That was 2020.
We put that on our 2020 honorable mention.
Yeah.
Last year. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the Holies. So we'll do that next week. We'll do, I guess, a special tier list edition. So that might be fun.
I think the tier list is a lot better way of doing it because like breaking down it. Because honestly, there was like kind of rough to put this year's games into like the top 5 because this is definitely the year that game releases, like 2021 was the most affected by COVID.
Yeah, but
a
there's
lot
also
of delays
some
into the later
slappers.
of the year or into the there were some good games.
Yeah,
but I'm saying like a lot, like there wasn't a lot of games. There was good games. There wasn't a lot of games.
Or at least you didn't play a lot of them.
I played. My tier list had like 26 games in it.
Oh. Fucking dipshit numbers over here. Mine's gonna have 90 games. No, just kidding. I'll do whatever takes the least amount of work because I'm lazy.
It's not that hard.
Yeah.
Well, I guess because you're spread across a bunch of platforms.
Yeah.
That you got to think about it. But what I did is that I remembered the games I had played that weren't released in this year, and then I just scrolled through the Wikipedia page for games released in 2021.
Yeah.
And I would just like,
open up a new Lost tab. Judgment, Near Replicant, Metroid Dread.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because also like Near Replicant is like a full remake.
It's a full remake,
but it also does fall in the category of like kind of.
It's a re-release.
It's a director's cut.
Yeah, it's.
There's that one new section.
Yeah, but
that you play through 3 times.
Yeah, well,
you get sadder each time.
Of course, it's near, dude.
Yeah, and then you had to.
That's the point of the game.
And then on the 3rd time, you get to kill it without the cutscene of you all losing.
Yeah.
It was pretty.
That game's so fucking good. Yeah, I don't know. When we were thinking of doing it like we did last year, where we don't do remasters and stuff.
Yeah,
but
see,
we do allow
I
remakes.
wouldn't want to leave
I was
that.
like, Like, for example, just the other day, the PS5 remaster of the two most recent, the PS4 Uncharted games came out. Uncharted 4 and Lost Legacy. And so, like, I don't think for next year it should count.
Yeah, but if it's on your tier list, you just get to place it. You just go like, I think this is the quality of the game, and you get to move on.
Yeah, okay, yeah. That's more fair. That's more
like
fair.
You could drop it into A tier and be like, if this was like a brand, and be like, if this was a brand new game that you've never played before, it would be S. But since you've already played it, it would just go to A.
Yeah,
like great game.
Do you know what? Okay, here's a good rule I think for the tier list. If it's a remaster and you've already played the original, get it the fuck out of there. You know what I mean? Because you've already played that game. It's not a new experience for you. It's you going back, right? Like, you shouldn't put the Mass Effect Legacy Edition or whatever it was called. Because, like, you played all three Mass Effects.
Too bad. It's already on the tier list.
Okay. But, like, you know what I mean, right? So maybe for 2022.
Yeah.
When we all put...
Oh, I'm still going to put, like, stuff on it. I'm just going to glaze over it and be like, it's there because it's good. I don't think there's any remasters, like, announced for this year right now.
I don't know. 2022 is pretty stacked.
Well, like, okay, so if the KOTOR remake comes out...
KOTOR remake, that's a remake.
Yeah.
That's a new game, probably. Just guessing. I'm going to assume new game. Right? Like, FF7 remake, Resident Evil 2 and 3 remake, those are new games. Like, they're not the same game. But
3 remake is not as good as 3 original.
Yeah, exactly. But, but like, other games are remasters. And again, Nier Replicant is a fucking literally, like... perfect remake. Like, it is fully a remake. It's in a different engine.
It's a Kiwami.
Yeah, but it's not even Kiwami. It's more accurate than Kiwami.
I mean, Kiwami 1.
Even Kiwami 1.
Okay, but Kiwami 1 has like the same story and shit.
Yeah.
It just has like extra stuff in between because they changed the... They made like you don't have the Dragon of Dojima style. You have to use the other 3 styles until you can use the Dragon of Dojima one again.
And you unlock stuff through skill tree instead of just by talking to Kamaki. You know, they made a bunch of changes.
They made it a better game.
They did make it. It is an improved game over, I think, the original one. Whereas a lot of people will argue that Kiwami 2 is a weaker game than the original 2.
Yeah, but that's because it's in the Dragon engine and didn't have the classic fighting style, and then also that they left out that like one small third area or whatever.
Yeah. But there was like a more... I've seen other more in-depth reasonings as well than just those, but it's like... I think those are the best, like...
Combat system... Like, the top 3 reasons are pretty much combat system, not as strong, because it's like a fresher version of it.
Yeah. Dragon Engine is played by like low frame rate on base system, whereas like original 2 on your PS2 ran great.
Yeah, and then missing that fucking one part of the game.
Yeah.
And then Majima Constructions in the game.
I don't think an addition should count either way.
I think it should be negative. That one sucks. Like, Hostess minigame?
You don't like the clan?
No, I think it's boring.
How did you feel about it in 6?
I think I played the bare minimum.
Okay. I played through all of it in both.
Because at least with what I had in Kiwami, I had like the special people that I could just throw in there. Like I would have Kiryu, I had Sajima, I had like characters that weren't introduced until Yakuza 6 and shit like that.
Yeah.
So like I could just blaze through and make it super easy. Kind of like the business in Yakuza 7.
Yeah, I think that's funny that you could get fucking Daigo Dojo.
Yeah. A man who's supposed to be in prison during that game.
Yeah.
Oh no, he's in prison during 6. Because he's not in the game in 6 at all. Daigo, Majima, and Saejima are all in prison. That's why
during 6.
That's why the Tojo clan is getting so fucked up. Because the boss and the 2 men who keep the boss like stacked up there are gone.
Yeah.
So it's like all the guys who are right below them going like, heh. Literally, it's like as soon as Majima, like, you know, that dude's like 50 now. So is Saejima. As soon as they're both like too old for this Yakuza shit, or like a younger guy shows up and straight up beats the shit out of them, they're fucked.
Well, I mean, the Toto clan, spoiler alert, for a year ago,
for 7
is disbanded.
Yeah, but it's like they always have that thing where like the Tojo clan and the Omi Alliance are disbanded, but the Seiryu clan still exists.
Yeah.
Because they exist in Lost Judgment.
Yep.
And then there's the other criminal or like
there's like triads and stuff.
The triad, the Gomi Jewel.
Mm-hmm.
So there's someone waiting to take their place, and also them going like becoming like a legit security business.
Yep.
Just didn't mean they stopped doing illegal things. It means that the company as a whole isn't doing illegal things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do want to see that followed up with in Yakuza 8.
Yeah. I just hope Yakuza 8 has a better turn-based system.
I think it's going to be the same with minor improvements.
That's fine.
Yep.
I said better. That's it. Like,
okay. Better, I thought you meant like kind of better, like throw it out, do something slightly different.
Well, like it got to a point where at the end with Yakuza 7, where it was like if I'm not if I just wanted to like blaze through a fight, I would just like make everyone just go and attack constantly.
Yeah.
But then when I was attacking constantly, sometimes I would do more damage than using my special moves. So it's like, what's the fucking point? Because you would do your special moves, or you do your basic attack.
Yeah.
And say you're doing fucking Ichiban's like bat combo where he knocks you on your ass, and you land next to a guy. Then your character they do a follow up, which can sometimes do more than Ichiban's little fucking bat combo.
Mm-hmm.
So then it's just like you just kind of like bat people around and beat the shit out of them. I think the follow-up should happen regardless of what move you do. Like, it should be able to happen after you do, like, a basic special attack.
Yeah.
Like, Ichiban's, like, bat move. That one bat move he has, where he
See,
creates,
I
like,
took him off bat pretty fast. So, like, because I had him...
Which...
I had him as bodyguard for a while, which is... Bodyguard slaps. It's really strong.
It's not bad.
And then
bodyguard gets, like, katana moves, right?
Yeah.
So you know that one where you like you just kind of like do a slash move across them and that can cause bleeding and they fall over.
Mm-hmm.
Someone should be able to follow up after that move. Not shit like those special like essence of or whatever where you go into like the void room and do shit. But if you do like the simple moves where you just run up and hit them,
I think that here's a different one. I think that when you put a battle on auto, it should skip animations, or at least have an option to, like, if you hit A second time during, it skips the animation to make battles go faster.
For what? Like some moves you can skip animations.
No, I mean for, like, basic attacks. Because you have to watch them fucking get up, run over, hit the person 2 or 3 times. It takes fucking forever. Let me press the A button again to skip past the animation.
Also,
like
I'm aware.
Final Fantasy.
Let me move Ichiban around. Let me place him.
If you're going to do all that shit, let me move him around. But I think either that or let me skip shit and make it run faster.
Or also either let me move Ichiban around and put him in like a thing, or let me move him around objects before I start moves. Because this shit with them just like idly walking around
is annoying.
Is so fucking dumb, because sometimes the guy will like, as you're like running up to attack him, he'll like walk behind a fence, and then Ichiban will start trying to attack the fence.
Or he'll like have to jump over the fence.
Yeah, and it's so slow. Also, it's not a jump over; it's a brisk like move your legs over, and it's like, bro, just fucking.
It takes ages sometimes. Yeah, for sure. I'm like 100% with you. Let me skip shit, or at the very least, if not that, do Paper Mario shit. You know, make me have to press buttons during the fight. Yeah.
And also, like, the class system where you could class into anything was pretty cool.
Yeah, the job system.
But there's characters who just, like, aren't meant for those jobs. Yeah. Like, literally just restrict some of the jobs. Like, make Ichiban be able to do everything, obviously. But don't fucking allow, what's the cop name? Koichi? I think that's his first name.
No. His name's... it starts with an A. It's like a
Okay, well, whatever. The cop. The 60-year-old man who was just one day from retirement before he got fired.
Don't let him be the breakdancer?
Don't let him be the breakdancer. Don't let him be the host. Let him be the bodyguard. Let him be the enforcer. Let him be the fucking foreman or whatever. Those jobs seem fine for him. Like, or fucking...
the enforcer's the cop, right? Where it's like the riot shield.
Yeah, the riot shield. Same with the homeless guy. Mm-hmm. Blanking on his name too right now. But what also... He was a
Namba,
homeless
isn't
man.
it?
Yeah. Why can he be a host? Also, he's not a muscly guy. Why can he be an enforcer? He's the fucking white mage. Mm-hmm. But then that's the thing is the girls can't be every job. They can only be girl specific jobs.
Yeah.
Where there's like some jobs for the girls where it's like why can't there's 2 host jobs in the game.
There's host and hostess, yeah.
Yeah, why can't they just have the same abilities? Mm-hmm. And then there's like idol. It's like why is I guess the idol is the musician class or whatever.
Yeah.
So like not everyone should be able to be the musician.
I don't know, because I think it's trying to do like classic Final Fantasy thing, like Final Fantasy V.
Draw Dragon Quest.
I think Final Fantasy is more associated with the jobs thing.
I think, but it's supposed to be Dragon Quest because that's what Ichiban played.
Yes, but not everything in Yakuza 7 is inspired by Dragon Quest. Again, the job thing is very much like Final Fantasy 3 and 5.
Yeah.
And the updated version of 12 that came out in HD, but that's
Personally, since my only experience with this is in Yakuza 7 because I didn't play Final Fantasy games and I didn't play old Dragon Quest. I've only played 11.
Yep.
I don't like the job system. I'd rather you just say this is what they are, this is what they do, because once you just do that, they're just better.
Right, so it depends on how much leveling up with the job gets you when you... Because, like, in Final Fantasy V, jobs only level up, I think, to level 5.
Where jobs in this game leveled up to 30.
Yeah, right. So, you could level up... You could get a person... Not all the jobs, obviously, but... And then you can pick and choose certain abilities and also get some permanent buffs as well from doing it. So you can multi-class and like figure out exactly your favorite play style.
If you could multi-class by like meeting the unlock conditions, like getting your skills to the correct levels and stuff, and then because the thing that I hate is that you have to go back to hello work every time.
That's annoying. Yeah.
If you could just like unlock the conditions for that character, and then by swapping their weapon, they would change class. I wouldn't care at all, actually.
In FF5, you can just change jobs in the menu.
That would be fine, too. But I'm saying, like, just like...
But you unlock more jobs as the game comes out. So, like, shit like Ninja, you unlock that later on, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yakuza 7, I think, is really fun. Like, that you get your jobs from a job center. Like, from that point of view, I think that's funny. Like, and I think the game's really charming. But I think as, like, a thing that is... it does need QOL changes, and it does need some balance changes. Yeah. I think it's like a bit more balanced, like than some games. So I don't think it needs like a million balance changes, but it definitely needs like a bunch of QOL changes. But yeah. Speaking of, another thing that I have planned is once I finish Lost Judgment, which will probably be in the next couple weeks, we will inevitably do that like spoiler cast for it. Like we did with Like a Dragon around a year ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, and so expect that to be fucking long as fuck because they always are, but especially that one. Like a Dragon spoiler cast was like 2 hours.
Yeah.
But yeah. So look forward to that. Now let's get into some news from the last couple weeks. So NFTs are still here. They haven't gone away.
They're not going away, unfortunately.
Yep. So Konami and Square Enix around the change of the year doubled down on it, whereas Sega did the walk back. They said, "Oh, we might do it," and then everyone was like, "Fuck you!" And Sega was like, "Okay, you know what? We're not going to do it." Which, like, still bad that they wanted to do it, but I respect the walk back. That's good. It's overall better.
No fucking way.
What?
Have you ever played Wordle?
I have heard of Wordle. It's gotten a lot more popular. It's a mobile game.
First try.
Could.
Yeah. Sorry, I hope you want me to play. So the way, sorry, I could have fucking destroyed this whole bit to explain Wordle now. So Wordle is becoming very popular.
Yes,
and it's a very simple, like fucking easy game that is just like a little brain teaser you get to do every day. So you have 6 tries to guess a 5-letter word. Mm-hmm. And so, but how it usually works is that you would get like the word today is could. So it'll be different on Monday, so it doesn't matter. I can just say it.
Okay.
So it's could. So I would say I guessed something like irate.
Yeah.
None of those letters are in the word could.
Oh.
So it would
this is like a hangman type deal?
Kind of. So it would be, but like they give you hints. So none of those words are in a irate. Like irate's not in that at all.
Yep.
So it would say, fuck you, idiot, you're wrong. But say I wrote shout. Which is
OU.
also a 5-letter word. The OU, but it's in the wrong place. So then those would be yellow, saying that it is in the word, just not in those spots.
Okay. Oh, I've played games kind of like that before.
Or so, I don't know, what's a 5-letter word? Like, say, I can't think of a word right now. Think of a 5-letter word. I say crabs.
Crabs.
But that starts with a C.
So
the
you
C
get that.
would be green.
Green, yeah.
And it would say this is where it goes. So I know that there's a C in the word and there's an OU somewhere in the word. And you just kind of guess from there. And you got 6 tries.
But you like just typed in could. That was like the first thing you typed.
I was talking to my nephew's birthday is today, but we
Yeah.
went over to his house for cake yesterday. And I was talking to my brother, and he plays, and he was like, I always open with the I was like, what words do you usually open with? Because you want to choose like a word that has like different letters, but then also common letters.
Yeah.
So he was like, oh yeah, I usually open up with could. And I'm like, all right, try it today.
And that's the right one.
Yeah.
That's funny.
The funniest one was on Thursday. We were in the Discord. And Holly, they were playing fucking Codemasters again.
Oh, the code names.
The codename's there, yeah. And Holly went like, all right, I'm going to do the fucking word today. And me and Gavin had already gotten it. And she's like, I don't know, Mountain Dew. And she wrote Mount. That was the fucking word.
That's great.
And both me and Gavin were like, are you fucking kidding us right now? Because I almost failed that day.
That's so funny.
Yeah. But anyways, I'm fucking sick.
Yeah.
I am on the top of the fucking world right now.
Nice. That's good. Anyways, NFTs. Also, Troy Baker. You remember that? That was fucked up.
Did you listen to the episode of the podcast that he does, like the Alana Pierce podcast he does?
No. Apparently he wasn't on that episode.
He did like an episode. They did like an emergency episode or something afterwards, where he like I guess came on to defend himself. I didn't listen to it because I don't watch that podcast. I'm just like, I could probably just find out the answer right now by Googling. I hope it was like his management's decision or something.
No, I mean like
he's
the
getting,
wording.
like, a big
the
enough
wording.
payout, but
first of all, it's definitely a big payout. But secondly, the wording is so utterly him because if you remember, about a year ago, Jason Schreier made a tweet that was like, games should be shorter. And then Troy Baker responded with like a fucking weird Teddy Roosevelt quote or FDR quote about like, critics are bullshit. And it's like, fuck you.
Also,
don't
Jason
be an
Schreier
asshole.
is correct but wrong.
Yeah.
Like 20 hours for a video game, I'm fine with that.
20 hours is a nice length.
Yeah, 8 hours, I'm kind of upset.
It depends on
a replayable 8 hours, like a Devil May Cry, sure. But a
because
lot
I would
of times,
say Bayo 1, for the type of game that it is a bit too long.
it is a bit too long.
It's like 12 hours.
Yeah.
Like, that should be 8.
But also, I think the problem with Bayo 1 as well is it's not just the game is too long, it's that the level sections are too long.
Some of the levels are too long.
Where, like
If you
in
think
Devil May
Bayo
Cry
1
5,
levels are too long, you should play Astral Chain, a game that I think is great, but levels can take upwards of an hour.
But like Devil May Cry 5,
Yep.
in one level, you'll probably get into 12 fights or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's usually if like 12 small fights.
Yeah.
Bayonetta, you're getting in like 16 huge fights that all last like 10 minutes each.
Yeah.
So the level, well, like on a first playthrough, like 10 minutes each.
Yeah.
Just like one level feels like it's so tiring and the game is so like fucking technical that your hands get tired.
Yeah.
By like halfway through and you're like, fuck this. And then you do a driving section that destroys your whole ranking.
Yeah, I like those sections, but they are stupid.
Yeah. Well, the driving section on the bridge isn't bad. It just kind of like goes on for a bit too long, and just like it looks cool at the beginning, then it gets boring. But the missile section towards the end of the game, holy fucking shit! Shut up.
Yeah.
It's so long, and it gets pretty difficult sometimes. It's like, well, I guess I'll just die here.
Yeah. Well, Hideki Kamiya loves putting like Space Invaders shit in his games, or like shmup shit. The ending of DMC1 is shmup.
Yeah.
I told you I couldn't beat that fucking game. I got up to the last fucking level, and you have to... It's a shmup section, and your health carries over into the final boss section, which part of the final boss section is just platforming to get to him.
Yeah.
So I just can't beat that fucking final boss, and so tough titties.
Yeah, easy mode is now playable. Selectable.
That's 3.
I'm sure they all, in like one of the remasters, they put it in easy mode.
Oh, that was on easy mode.
Oh, yeah.
DMC1's fucking hard.
Yeah.
But yeah. Fuck you, Mundus.
Yeah, so, Mundus, my favorite villain from D, Little MC. He fucks at the beginning of the game to show you that it's...
He's the Bill O'Reilly guy, right?
No, Bill O'Reilly is just one of the demons you beat up.
Okay.
He's like the Donald Trump-esque guy who's like, I control the world. Like, he's like a billionaire who's like, the government does what I say. But I need to kill this demon boy because I murdered his father for no reason.
Well, they gave him the CBT.
Yeah, Eternal CBT.
If D Little MC, we've said this a million times in this podcast, D Little MC would be a better game if it wasn't Devil May Cry.
Yeah.
Like, imagine take all the Devil May Cry part out, make it not Dante, make it not whatever.
Yeah.
Just make it its own game about like fucking weird supernatural devil anti-capitalism game.
There is the problem.
With cool action.
There is the problem with that Virgil though, where from the very beginning he says I'm weaker than you, but then he's the final boss.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh.
But that's because he has to be Virgil. You take the DMC stuff out.
Yeah.
Boom. Now it doesn't matter. You don't have to fight him at all because it's not meaningful to.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you get like DMC3 though, where it's like the reason why you fight Virgil at the beginning of that fucking game and he kicks your ass.
Yeah.
But then you go to like the end and it's like you're even footed now.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
It's good storytelling.
Yeah, so Bomb Rush Cyberpunk had a new trailer.
Yep. Looks great.
You can skateboard.
Yeah, depending on the character, you do different shit. So there's a BMX character, there's a skateboard character, there's a roller skate character.
Yeah.
Game looks cool, man.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about Ready or Not? I read a whole thing about it. You don't?
No, because it's I haven't played it. Mm-hmm. You haven't played it.
Nope.
I think this is just conjecture.
Well, it's based on like a few different articles and stuff that I
read but articles are also just like when you have nothing to write about, it's going to be clickbait.
I would argue that's not clickbait because it's
it's like
bait people into clicking because it's like, you know.
All right, so whatever. Nathan wrote that Ready or Not is extremely fascist, but it's based off of other people's perspectives. But remember when Monster Hunter World came out, there was articles about how Monster Hunter is a colonizer's like wet dream or whatever. There's always articles out there to like push a narrative about something that they got that's not actually there.
Is there explicit references to being red-pilled in Monster Hunter World?
Is there explicit references to being red-pilled in Ready or Not?
Yes, there's an Easter egg in a level.
An Easter egg are usually comedic jokes.
It's not a comedic joke. It's pretty rough out there. Is Monster Hunter World planning to include a level which is a gross cop fantasy of violently stopping a school shooter inside a school?
So
a thing that statistically has never happened.
Yes. Are you claiming that the guys who make the game are like red-pilled dudes?
Yes.
Who are like the fucking Blue Lives Matter, thin blue line is the only thing keeping us from chaos? Or they are guys who are just like, we're trying to make a cool game and these are cool scenarios? There's a movie called Ready or Not.
Yeah, it's about hunting people for fun.
You know what's funny? I was talking to Blake and Chris about their time with the game.
Yeah.
And there was just like a part where they go in to like save some hostages or whatever. Mm-hmm. And they're like, Chris and Ryan are watching the door where the hostages have to leave through. And they know that. That's like their goal thing, is that they're the ones escorting the hostages. And... Yeah. So Blake and whoever and Michael like bust into the room with the hostage, and they're like, "Get the fuck out of here!" And they're like leaving, and then Ryan sees a guy come through the door and just freaks out and starts shooting the hostages.
Oh my god. Okay. Void Interactive released a statement defending a planned school shooting level in Ready or Not, saying, "We want to honor those who have been impacted by real life tragedy." Void. Hold on. Where we are. At its core, the game honors the work of dedicated law enforcement officers around the world and in no way intends to glorify cowardly criminal acts. We are dedicated in promoting a level of authenticity and realism in our video game that carries with it difficult subject matter. We understand this requires a certain responsibility to our fans and community, yes, but also to those who have been impacted by the traumatic events law enforcement all too often responds to. Like, so in case you're wondering, so they're talking about realism, right, and authenticity. And what I think would be far more realistic and authentic is if all of the already armed school police run away when the school shooter gets there, or because that's what fucking happens.
Alternatively, you call you call the SWAT team in because you're like in your panic room because you believe there's a guy there to murder you. There's a home invader, and they show up and they shoot your dog and leave.
Yep.
So you know what's funny?
There's like if you read more articles about it, you can find there's like a big list of like, here's all the sus shit in this fucking game, and
regardless, you know what's funny?
Yeah.
So they were dropped by their publisher.
Yeah.
Yeah. Team 17 is no longer publishing Void Interactive's Ready or Not.
I wonder why.
But then they said the Ready or Not studio says planned school shooting level did not cause split with publisher. So either
the publisher split for a completely unrelated reason to the school shooting level,
or
that's a self-report,
or them just going like, "Come on, guys, it wasn't that reason." The reason why is because the school shooting level was originally going to be called Handy Shook.
That's you, right? Please tell me that's not true.
Oh, of course that's me.
Okay, good.
It's actually going to be called Ballum Kind.
No, it's going to be called School.
Yeah.
Which is also bad. I don't know.
It's going to be called Don't Come to School Tomorrow.
I think the frustrating thing is like you could get away with making this video game 20 years ago. Like the SWAT games are fun, right? And like
Rainbow Six Siege is a fun game.
Right, but okay, even Rainbow Six Siege isn't the same as like the old SWAT games, because those games you had to like say shit to people and like zip tie them and you get in trouble for shooting them. Yeah. And like the games SWAT 3 and 4, those games are cool.
Rainbow Six, with how it works,
yeah,
you get in trouble for shooting the hostage if you are playing hostage. Like you, that's a round ender.
If you're no, okay.
Which is actually a funny strategy.
Enemies in SWAT 4. Like you go in, this is the police. Put down your weapon. And you have to decide whether or not and then you'll gain or lose points. It's like the old Rainbow Six games. You remember the originals where it's like super tactical single player shooter?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ready or Not, I think it's trying
pretty
to do
much
that.
Every game before Siege.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Ready or Not is like trying to be that now. But the problem is that they're still making games that are about SWAT teams, and we as a society have learned a lot more about SWAT teams.
Yeah. Also, Ready or Not takes place is a realistic shooter. Mm-hmm. Rainbow Six Siege takes place in a fictitious version of our world where there is constant terrorist threats, and the SWAT teams that the Rainbow Six team is filled with a huge cast of characters from all different like walks of life and like different countries and shit. Mm-hmm. Like, there's never been like a Rainbow Six game where they're like, we're going for Al Qaeda, because also that's not what SWAT does.
Let me try to find one of the things. Oh, deployed across poor neighborhoods, car dealerships, and gas stations, your job is to methodically breach and clear labyrinth-sized levels until all the bad guys are in custody or dead. Let me see. Yeah, because it did lose its publisher. Wanted to reassure people. I remember reading something. Where it's like really sus. Yeah. An Easter egg in the game's starting HQ area consists of a discarded red pillbox with the words "noggin joggers" on their side, which is 4chan speak for the N-word.
Yeah.
Elsewhere, you can find a box of vitamin D supplements for boner health from Whore Foods. Another vitamin box also references the Pepe meme.
Okay. Stop being mean to Pepe the Frog. He's a good Twitch emote, and the guy who created him feels really bad that 4chan liked his comic.
Oh, random bystanders have only a few recorded lines they'll bark at you in the moment. One of which is, "My mom has a Mexican maid. You might know her."
Mm. I love. I'm on the Wikipedia article for Pepe the Frog. Mm-hmm. And the last line is, "Since 2014, rare Pepes have been posted on the meme market as if they were trading cards." Mm. That's so fucking stupid.
Oh yeah, we didn't mention Ubisoft also did like a doofusy NFT statement saying, "Oh, the users don't get it, but it'll be helpful to them. They'll love it."
Yeah.
No, shut up. You don't know. You'll like it.
You're the idiots. You don't understand.
What the fuck?
What?
Dude.
Are you finding out more stuff?
No, this is a different thing. This is fun now. In 2022, you can download from Game Jolt, apparently a developer called Neo Dement or Dement, has turned Steam Hams into a 90s point-and-click adventure game.
Okay, amazing.
That's awesome.
That is great.
Look at the gift.
Just doing my calisthenics here.
That's awesome. Love it. God bless. Anyway, so yeah, this isn't to say you're a terrible person if you play Ready or Not, but this is to say, hey, be aware of the media you interact with and understand that even things that don't seem to have a political message tend to. Anyway, ecom. Oh yeah, PSVR 2 exists. There's going to be a Horizon game for it. Who gives a shit anymore? Okay, let's talk about Xbox buying Activision Blizzard. Oh, also, you're going to hear an echo because now there's an echo in this fucking room, and we can't do anything about it. But yeah, anyway, Xbox has purchased Activision Blizzard. How do you feel about this, Ian?
They have not purchased them. The deal has been made.
Within a year, it's going to happen, and it just depends on whether the
U.S. government considers this
antitrust
shit,
which they won't.
They won't.
They
honestly,
don't do
I think
it
they
anymore.
should, but they won't.
Yeah,
because it doesn't. Because obviously, there's still competitors. There's still other people. Like Battlefield exists. It's obviously not as strong of a competitor as it used to be. Especially since 2042 is a massive piece of shit.
Well, Call of Duty also doesn't make the numbers that it used to either.
But Warzone does make pretty good numbers.
Warzone makes numbers.
There's no competitor. The competitors to Warzone is Fortnite and Apex Legends.
Yeah, and I think both Fortnite and Apex Legends do better numbers than...
I don't think Apex does better numbers.
It was for a while.
Well, because Apex doesn't...
Apex went away for a while and people weren't playing it, but now it's back.
The thing is with Fortnite is that if you give $10 to Fortnite... Mm-hmm. You get a lot.
Yeah.
Or you get like a drastically different skin. Mm-hmm. You sometimes it comes with
play as Naruto.
You get a glider, you get like your fucking or it's like $10 you get the skin, $15 you get like the glider and your fucking
emote pack.
You get your special pickaxe.
Yeah, that too.
And then there's gun skins and stuff in the game as well. In Apex Legends, if you give the game $10, you get a slight reskin of your fucking character, like a color variation. And so Apex Legends doesn't do cosmetics as well.
That's true.
You have to drop a lot of money.
And again, you cannot play as Rick or Morty in Apex Legends.
Yeah. And then in Call of Duty Warzone, you can play as Eren Yeager.
That's so fucking weird, dude. It's like the weirdest shit in the world.
Yeah.
But it fits because Eren Yeager is like a weird military fascist loser, and Call of Duty is the same.
There's you know that fucking audio on TikTok with it's an audio of Jay Schlatt going Firefox, but every single time he says it, it gets more confusing. He gets more confused.
Firefox.
He's right, like Firefox. Firefox? But it was like Eren Yeager's like goals throughout Attack on Titan. It's like kill all the Titans, save all the Titans, save all the humans, kill all the humans. Yeah. So I don't know. Glad that show is on its final season again.
Well, it's the final season part 2.
Yeah, but I feel like I've been hearing about the final season for like
because part 1 of the final season came out like in 2020.
Yeah, man,
it's weird. I'm glad Wit Studio decided after 3 seasons we're gonna make other shows.
Yeah, we're gonna go
because Wit Studio is really fucking talented.
We're gonna go. Yeah, but then didn't Madhouse pick it up?
There's
Madhouse or Mappa. One of the studios that abuses their workers.
Probably fucking Mappa.
Yeah, because
I think Wit Studio. By the way, my POV is that Wit Studio is too good for Attack on
just
Titan.
to get on top of this, Mia Khalifa might be dead, but who knows?
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh.
But like, so it's a rumor. Nothing has come out because her Facebook just for no reason changed to a memorial page.
That's fucking weird.
Yeah.
By the way, if you want to know what Wit Studio
it's not trending on Twitter yet, so I'm not considering it real. It's like the sun and a one thing I can't read, but it means like it still happened.
Okay. So to finish the thought we had before, Wit Studio has done on top of Attack on Titan. They did Kabnari of the Iron Fortress, Ancient Magus Bride, After the Rain, Vinland Saga, Great Pretender, and Ranking of Kings, and they're going to be doing Spy X Family later this year.
Oh, yeah.
They do really good shit. I don't know if they're terrible.
Mappa is the current studio.
Yeah. So let me look up this Mia Khalifa thing.
Yeah, literally, you'll get the same thing I just had.
Yeah.
Where it just says that it's a tribute thing. Like I checked trending on Twitter, and there's nothing there yet.
I know she got divorced.
Yeah, that's what people are saying. Is that that she might have like her ex might have had like.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's only Spanish Twitter right now talking about it, and also just seeing like old porn of Mia Khalifa. Sick.
Yeah, it's weird. Also, like she doesn't do porn anymore.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying it's like
like I think it's really rough that people like talk shit about her because I think she's like personally someone who isn't very happy about it. She was like
her time in the porn industry, or
yeah, she was like 22, and I think she did like she worked for like 3 to 5 months only, and then
yeah, but she was like
she stopped because she felt like she'd gotten 3 months, and she left the industry like a year prior, and she does other stuff. She mostly does like commentary on sports and shit.
Yeah.
But, like, she's still one of the most popular pornography stuff.
Yeah. It's like, because she only worked for 3 months, it's like rare trading cards.
It's like rare peeps.
Rare peps.
Hope she's okay. Don't want her to be dead. She's only, like, 29.
Yeah.
And, like, seems like a decent person.
Mm-hmm.
And even if she wasn't, people don't really deserve to die. Because I think she's not a COVID denier, also.
Mm-hmm. But Active Blizzard, honestly,
I think
Like I could see
this is a really upsetting. So everybody's like, yeah, Xbox comes in, they're the fucking heroes. Xbox not the fucking
Xbox not the heroes, absolutely, but like I could see, because Xbox would still want the positive PR.
Yeah,
because like remember, Xbox is professional, like the Microsoft is professional manipulators.
Yeah,
people literally think that Microsoft is like the only operating system because Bill Gates was the only one smart enough to make an operating system, not because Bill Gates lobbied in the Senate and lied, like similar to what Mark Zuckerberg did.
Yeah,
and fucking said that anyone else could have like an untrustworthy fucking operating system, and that's why we only have Microsoft.
Yeah.
Well, that's why we only have Microsoft on like everything, or it's like Microsoft, Apple, and if you're a fucking insane person, Linux.
Yeah.
There's no like independent operating systems because the government won't allow you to have an independent operating system.
Exactly, because fucking. Well, it's just that like they make fucking deals, right? And it's like,
when am I gonna? Who's gonna make the fucking like Android operating system? Like
Google.
No, fuck that. I mean, like, because Android wasn't created.
Because Chromebooks exist. They have a Google OS.
Do they?
Yeah.
Yeah,
they don't use
independent fucking operating systems,
Windows,
please.
Well, the problem is making an operating system isn't profitable.
Yeah, it's not. I lost my fucking mind dealing with Microsoft over this 5-week break.
Yeah.
Because my Halo Infinite on PC crashes a lot.
Yeah.
And also loads very slowly. And I got so fucking sick of it that like I got a new monitor.
Yeah.
It's like a 27-inch like curved monitor.
Okay.
Does 165 hertz.
Yeah.
And finally I can play games at a smooth frame rate, and then my GPU is like actually properly communicating with the monitor and not constantly like causing frame stuttering and frame like that shit. I can't remember what it's called right now.
Screen tearing?
Screen tearing. So I was like, Halo Infinite still was the only game I had that was running like shit.
Yeah.
So I looked up all these ways of how to fix the game, and one of them was to go to the actual like application, go to the properties, and check these specific boxes.
Yeah.
So I was trying to do that. Microsoft via Xbox Game Pass
don't like that.
They do not. The way they install games on your computer is as system files. And when you install something as a system file,
it can't be altered.
It cannot be altered, and it cannot be found without going in and giving yourself, which you should have already, super administrator privileges.
Yep.
And then also giving yourself those privileges can fuck up your entire PC.
That's also true, yeah.
So it broke me. I was like, fuck this. I'm done with Game Pass. This is so annoying. And I went and I fucking like gave it 1,000 bad reviews because I was so mad. Like this was like a rage that lasted me a full hour.
That's funny.
Like if it wasn't like 3 a.m., I would have been like making the rounds in my house talking to all my roommates about how fucking mad I am. So I uninstalled Game Pass. I canceled my subscription because I'm not fucking doing that shit anymore. Also for fun, since they're such a big company, they don't ask you for reasons why you're leaving. I just went in and said it's because you haven't. I just wrote fire Bobby Kotick and then left. Like I left feedback from like a separate thing.
Yeah.
So I fucking hate Microsoft and their bullshit.
Fuck Microsoft for sure. But if we want to talk about this little Activision thing real quick, everybody's like, yes, Microsoft's going to save Activision. And it's like, sure, Microsoft may, and they have not decided that they will do this, may bring back some of your favorite things. They may take people out of the fucking Call of Duty dungeon. They may take, Beanox and Toys for Bob and them out of the fucking Blizzard dungeon. And they might. Who knows? Maybe they'll bring back the Tony Hawk games. Maybe they'll bring back more Crash.
Maybe Vicarious Visions will somehow reform.
Yeah, right? Maybe everything, right? But
more likely,
because they want their fucking teams, they said it in the announcement, to be independent. And so what's going to happen is those developers are going to run themselves the same way that they are. Bobby Kotick is still CEO. for at least another year
while the transition happens.
Well,
and that's why I do not want to.
If he leaves, he is going to leave with a big bonus and with no punishment.
And also, the sale of the company is also all the money is going directly to Bobby Kotick and all the executives.
Shareholders. Yeah.
I'm sure Bobby Kotick's about to get $30 billion.
He's going to be rich as fuck. He won't have to work again. So maybe that's positive. Maybe you see, well, he won't have to work again. That's effectively him being permanently fired. But it's not, because he hasn't seen any repercussions for his actions.
Yeah. I would like Bobby Kotick to be... See, this is my dream scenario.
Yeah.
But it's never going to happen because there's a whole bunch of bullshit.
Somebody murders Bobby Kotick.
Oh, that's the beyond dream scenario. The dream scenario is a public shaming. Because right now, if you go look at like interviews with Phil Spector and other higher ups at Microsoft, they make fucking comments about like, we really like Bobby's fucking firm hand on the wheel. He goes, got ahead of all this, and he's like really trying to fix the company. It's like, but Bobby's the problem.
I didn't see that interview. Because I remember before when the Active Blizzard stuff was really coming out this year, not last year, this year, they were like, we are rethinking our relationship with Activision Blizzard, and what they rethought was, hey, let's buy these motherfuckers.
Yeah, well, and then there's a whole bunch of people going like, oh, they collectively were like talking shit, lowering Activision stock value, and now that they're at it, like they're fucked. They're like,
I don't think they were.
No, they were doing great. They actually had a pretty high stock price.
Yeah, and
$88 a share.
And also, they bought it. It's like the biggest company purchase in ages. Like, okay. Do you know how much money?
Not deserved.
Not deserved.
Did you see that fucking thing when like Xbox threw out the tweet saying that they plan on acquiring Activision, when they showed like their 5 top franchises? It was like Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, Candy Crush, StarCraft, and Overwatch. That shit is not worth $69 billion.
More, 79, I think.
No, it's 60. It was 68.7. People rounded up to 70, but it's funnier to say 69.
Yeah, you're right. It is funnier. So, $69 billion to buy Activision. Do you know how much money Disney paid to buy Marvel?
10.
4. $4 billion.
Yeah, but they also bought Marvel back when Marvel was like not doing well.
They bought Marvel between Iron Man 2 and the Avengers.
Yeah, when they were on the up.
Yeah, when they were on the up.
And Disney was pretty much saying, we will give you a payout and do whatever we want.
Yeah.
And we will deal with like the bullshit contract stuff of all these people.
Yeah.
Because you could tell with the Iron Man and all that, those movies made bank. But after that, they would have to then start fronting cash for like Robert Downey Jr. and Scarlett Johansson, who were making like $50 million at every movie.
I think Scarlett Johansson was cheaper back then.
I think she was, but then wasn't by Black Widow. She was making like a quarter of like the fucking budget for the movie was her.
Well, for Black Widow, the movie, yeah. But then she was also one of the producers.
Yeah, so you can make those own negotiations.
So she's doing 2 jobs.
Yeah,
she's the star and the producer.
But yeah. So anyways, Call of Duty. I would love it because they're sucking Bobby Kotick's dick right now.
Yeah,
and talking about how he's actually a good manager and not a bad person.
Yeah,
because Bobby Kotick can solely turn around and say we're not going to sell. Actually,
yeah.
So they're going to fucking suck his dick, say he's a good leader, and then hopefully this goes through, and then they go after the transition
make him leave.
Ends, they prop someone else in that position, and then they say you're fired.
Yeah, but they're not even going to say you're fired. They're going to say we don't need a CEO of Activision anymore because Activision is a sub-company and you're going to report to Phil Spencer.
Yeah, or they're going to fucking walk over to him and be like, pretty please, black screen. Pretty please, can you maybe consider retiring?
Yeah.
Since he is like in his late 50s.
Dude, I just realized, look at the camera. It looks like this is a split screen.
If not for this table, yeah.
If not for the table, it would look like a split screen.
And you would just push this like slightly back so it doesn't in line with the wall.
That's so funny.
Yeah, you got to get like something behind.
Ian's not even fucking here.
That's the. Oh no, it's like actually one of the podcasts I really like. I don't. Oh no, it was the Leftovers. I don't like that podcast.
Oh.
With Hassan and Ethan Klein.
I've seen clips from that podcast that are entertaining.
They're fun guys. It's just that it's like I like Fear and Malding
better
because Fear and Malding is a tight hour and a half. They come into it. They know what they want to talk about. And Will has his America Me Up segment.
Don't you hate when a podcast is like really long because they just go on random tangents? That sucks.
Yeah, but the difference is, like, I don't know.
The difference is I like you.
The difference is that I think you're funny, and I think other podcasts that do that are funny. Ethan Klein isn't that funny to me. I think it's fine if people think he's funny, but whatever.
I respect that recently he talked about like, oh, I ended up on this fucking anti-SJW kick, and like it was like more about what my audience expected than something I actually felt.
He's a man who actively goes through change and learning publicly.
Yeah, and so like I fully stopped watching his shit because of that.
Do you ever see that one fucking clip? Like, it's so old, where he's talking to, like, Post Malone or something, and Joji is in the background, and he's like, biologically, women are like...
weaker than men. And
but
Joji in the background is just
he's like, women are, like, meant to be dominated, and Joji does, like, the cringiest face. He's like, ooh! And he, like, gets up and, like, walks out of frame for a minute.
Yeah, that's great.
Like... in context in the conversation, Ethan's not actually saying that. He's saying that's what
I
other
thought that was
people say.
Post Malone was saying that.
Yeah,
in the video.
Yeah. It's but like I don't like Ethan Klein that much. Fear of Molding is really good.
Yep.
But I forget where I was going with this because we got into a tangent.
Podcasts bad. Oh, speaking of Joe Rogan podcast, and Neil Young.
And Joni Mitchell now too.
Joni Mitchell too? Wow.
If this continues on,
get a fucking Taylor Swift in there.
I think yeah. Oh man, can get fucking Taylor Swift. I can see happening.
I could see. Do you know who I could see before Taylor Swift?
Who?
Ariana Grande or Halsey. In terms of like pop girls.
Yeah.
Because Halsey and Ari are both way more political. Ariana Grande very famously was like a Bernie bro.
What about... okay, I know Grimes was in, like, a fucked up state for a while because she was married to Elon.
I don't... We'll see. I believe...
You know, I think Grimes might still have, like, even though she's
I believe in
Elon
Grimes's upcoming left turn. She did have that photo shoot where she was reading the Communist Manifesto after they broke up, which I think is very funny.
Yeah, but it's also just, like, he was saying stupid shit when they were together. It was just that fucking pronouns comment that got her.
Yeah, well, because it's like one of the things that I think is really was really telling
Next
about that
time I
relationship.
ever fucking hear someone say my pronouns or like I identify as an attack helicopter or whatever,
slap them.
That horribly unfunny shit, I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, Elon Musk's kid. Because that one the fucking his dumbass name.
Yeah, A3. It's our favorite.
Well, it's not
plane.
A3. It's like it's a Greek symbol.
Yeah, it's like it's stupid. It's stupid. And you know, Grimes rep Canada. We're we stand proud together.
Look, money can make you do fucking stupid things,
and also abusive, shitty men.
Yeah, it can make you fuck abusive, shitty men.
Like no, seriously, like. Elon Musk is a very manipulative person.
I guarantee every single time he made like a problematic tweet, it was because him and Grimes were in like an argument.
Yeah. Well, and the thing that's really weird is like Grimes had spoken, and so I'm not going to comment on like I don't know what's inside Grimes' head all the fucking time. I'm not even a huge fan of Grimes. I like some of her songs.
I like none of her songs.
I like some. She's got talent.
That fucking
but Grimes before she
Cyberpunk is so bad.
Yeah, it's fine.
Oops, get out of there.
But Grimes had like sort of made some like, hey, I'm like non-binary, she, they pronouns, and then like after getting together with Elon, that kind of went away, and I think
she, her, because the rest of our lives.
Yeah, right. So I think there was like an abusive element to that I think was like looking at made me uncomfortable, and so maybe. Grimes is going to come out as non-binary, use they, them, or maybe Grimes won't, or be she, they, or whatever, or be she, her. Who fucking knows? I'm not here to be like, this is the be-all and end-all. But it did make me uncomfortable at the time. So I hope Grimes can live her best life, or their best life, or whatever. You might have to turn on the water. I think the water might be off. Yeah.
So wait, you said go or
You might have to.
it's on?
Okay. It might just be off for the toilet.
It is off in the bathroom. Well,
Okay.
like in the toilet. Like the whatever was pee and shit.
Okay.
Deal with it before I leave.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, do you think... Okay, so you know how, like, Elon's, like, top-tier manipulator?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think he, like, walked in... Like, when him and, like... He was, like... Grimes, when they got together, she was probably like, oh, it's she, they.
Mm-hmm.
So that he could still, like, say something. Then maybe she's in bed. She's like, I don't know, I just feel, like, a little more, like... in between everything. Maybe I should... Maybe I'll just officially make my pronouns they, them.
And Elon's
And
like,
then
that's not real.
Elon's sitting there is like, come on, babe. That's stupid.
Yeah.
You can be anything you want. Just make your pronouns easy for people that take in or whatever the fuck.
Who fucking cares, bitch?
I'm the alpha.
I'm the alpha in this relationship.
Yeah.
I don't know why he's Eastern European.
I know, because South Africans are really hard accent to do.
It is a difficult accent. It's like a
because there's no like.
It's like if an Australian accent was racist.
New Zealand is just Australian, but you question it.
But cute.
You end more in a question.
It's like New Zealand is like the
Australian,
Osaka
but kind.
Australian accent.
New Zealand is Australian but kind.
Yeah.
When you're like Australians, like oi cunt, but then you get into New Zealand, they're like oi cunt.
Hey. Ah.
Would you like to
I'm
come
over
over
here.
here and watch me carve some wood?
Yeah.
My name is Bro XH.
Yesterday I was washing me dick. Me dick. That's how
Check out
they
my
say
dick.
it. My dick.
Well, that's an Australian comedian's joke.
Yeah.
I think that's a Shooter Williams.
That's so wash me dick. That's a New Zealand accent. They say dick instead of dick.
They do kind of say it. They also do.
Australian would be more like dick. You know what I mean? Like it's like, oh, washing me dick. Me dick. Like it's a little more gruff, so it doesn't sound as much like dick. But
oh, it is New Zealand.
New Zealand is like, whoosh me dick.
Yeah. Well, so yeah, Activision.
Fuck them.
This is the best case scenario for all of Activision's.
Make Call
bullshit.
of Duty non-annual again, and let the developers make real fucking video games.
Call of Duty is only developed by what, Raven? Whatever?
There's three. There's Raven, Sledgehammer, and Infinity Ward.
Oh no,
and
also
Treyarch.
Treyarch. So there's four. Only those four. That's it. Those are only the Call of Duty people.
No,
and if one of them one of them wants to stop being Call of Duty,
I'm telling
that's
you,
it. No more
telling
support
you,
staffs.
Get all of them except Infinity Ward off. Because
what about Treyarch? What
Treyarch has made some incredible not Call of Duty games.
since when though?
Oh,
Like they've been on the Call of Duty grind since Call of Duty 5. Which
well,
was
they've
World
made
at War.
all of them, but they've stopped making other games because games take longer now.
All right, so
but it's
also,
like let me just look up Treyarch real quick.
Let Toys for Bob go back to what they were doing.
Yeah.
Bring back Crash Bandicoot.
So let me just we got the Call of Duty. They did the Quantum Solace games. They did a bunch of the Spider-Man games. Like Ultimate Spider-Man. They did Spider-Man 2, Web of Shadows, and like they haven't made like a new game other than COD since like the Quantum Solace game, which is basically just COD, and Spider-Man Web of Shadows. So like it's been 10 years, let them do some shit, right? Treyarch's made some great games. Raven Soft, they're also quite good. They've also done some really cool games. Let's see. Before they got put, they did some of the. Hold on, let me just find it here. They did some of the Star Wars games, which were pretty good. They did. Let me see. Before they got put in the Call of Duty mines, which was like 10 years ago. They did Singularity, which was cool. They did the shitty Wolfenstein. They did X-Men Origins Wolverine as well, which that game fucking slaps.
All right.
And Marvel Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2.
Here's what we need for Xbox to do once they have control of Activision. Call of Duty.
Yep.
Minimum developers, no more support devs.
Yeah.
Like Blizzard properties.
Have it be Infinity Ward and Sledgehammer, because Sledgehammer was basically invented to be support for Infinity Ward.
There is 3 major Blizzard properties. Actually, there's 4 major Blizzard properties. There's World of Warcraft.
Yep.
There's Overwatch.
Yep. StarCraft.
And Diablo. And Hearthstone is there.
Hearthstone is a combo.
It's kind of underneath.
Also, Hearthstone's only one game.
Yeah, where World of Warcraft is a massive amount of games.
Yeah.
I would say Hearthstone whoever works on Hearthstone can just be a guy who works on World of Warcraft, is like under the World of Warcraft team as well.
Yeah.
No more fucking like buying developers and throwing them at Blizzard to become like a support team for other games.
Right.
Blizzard needs to make their own
look at fucking Beanox.
Fucking games.
Right? Was it Beanox or was it what? Which one?
What?
That did Diablo 2 remake.
I can't remember.
One of the people, the main team for Tony Hawk or Crash or whichever, like got put into the Blizzard zone. Like, to do bullshit. Who fucking cares about Diablo? Those games suck.
Vicarious Visions, so was Tony Hawk.
Vicarious Visions. So, like, those games suck ass.
Okay, but they're huge popular games that sell.
Is this some kind of out-of-season April Fool's joke?
Yeah. Well, that was when they said the next Diablo title was going to be mobile only.
Yeah.
So, like...
What, do you not
honestly,
have phones?
Diablo, whatever. I don't care for it, and there's not that many games.
Yeah.
And you can go and hire another development studio.
But here's the thing,
to make
Ian.
it. But Overwatch is what the fuck is going on?
Overwatch 2 has been delayed by 2 years, even though it's not even a new game.
Just fucking cancel it now.
It's not even a new fucking game.
Like,
it's like an upgrade.
It's not even look. They are changing it from being a 6v6 mode to a 5v5 mode, and they're making it so you only have to have 1 tank on your team, but you still have to you play 1 tank, 2 DPS, and 2 healers. They're changing tanks to do more damage and be more active members of the game to try and to get rid of the shield meta. Okay, that's a fucking update.
Yeah, that's a free update.
What the fuck is taking so long?
Well, they're also
That's a game mode.
They're also adding a single player mode.
Yeah, who the fuck cares? You know what else they're adding? 1 character. In Overwatch's first 2 years, they released 8 fucking characters. It has been 2 years since they announced Overwatch 2, and it's not coming out for 2 more years. And Jeff Kaplan has left the team. Mm-hmm. Who Overwatch was
is
his
the
baby.
Overwatch guy? Yeah.
And it's like, you can't put 1 fucking character.
But Ian,
and
they
push out a
renamed
patch.
McCree to something else. Isn't that enough?
Whatever. Like, who cares? Just fucking end it.
But at least at the end of the day, you can always count on the 3Bs to always put out only good games.
But like, okay, and
Bethesda, BioWare, and Blizzard, baby. They've never made a bad game.
And then last StarCraft that came out was StarCraft Remastered in 2017. Like, that's not even a fucking real game.
Yeah, I think StarCraft 2 still has like a really solid online community in Korea.
Yeah, StarCraft 2 came out in 2010, 12 years after the first StarCraft.
Yep.
And then StarCraft...
It's been 12 years since StarCraft 2 now.
Yeah. And then Heart of the Swarm came out in 2013.
Okay.
Then Legacy of the Void came out in 2015, and then Nova Covert or Ops came out in 2016.
Okay.
So we're due for a new StarCraft game.
We're also due for a new Warcraft. Not World of Warcraft, just Warcraft.
Well, World of Warcraft is just kind of inside of Warcraft now. Maybe Warcraft 2 is just World of Warcraft. No, like World of Warcraft 2 is just a Warcraft game.
Yeah.
Keep the Warcraft.
Yeah. Devs. Oh man. Speaking of, why not? Why are we still on the original World of Warcraft?
Well, we're not, because
I mean, I know
the game is drastically different as it was.
I know, but other MMOs have instead of just doing this like never stop updating thing, have done explicit sequels. Right? Look at Phantasy Star Online.
Yeah, but that's
PSO2, and then PSO2 had the big update of New Genesis.
But it's not as big.
Right, but okay, Guild Wars 2
was kind of
Guild Wars 2 was a big difference.
Here's the problem with Guild Wars though. The Guild Wars, when it came out, was they stole a crowd from WoW,
Yeah.
But then instead of updating the game, they decided to go and make a second one. So
Yeah.
they lost a lot of their player base, and then those people went back to WoW.
But Guild Wars 2 was actually
And then Guild Wars 2
really
came
good.
out and was actually good, but it didn't pull everyone back who played Guild Wars back into Guild Wars 2.
I don't know. Again, like, I'm not in the WoW community because I'm not, like, you know,
MMOs pretty much
dried out husk of a man.
Yeah. MMOs pretty much need to put out a like constant updates
Yeah.
and a new expansion every 2 years.
I know WoW fans are talking like, okay, WoW needs to actually make significant changes and do a big jump to
World of Warcraft needs a World of Warcraft 2 at this point.
Yeah.
But
it's just not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. Like, literally, you know what they need to do? They need to do a world-ending event in the game that destroys one half of the map, and all the fucking secondary islands go 1,000 years into the future, where we look back at the fucking events that were happening in this era as if they were gods.
Yeah.
Like how Norse people look at fucking like Odin and Thor and shit. Like, do that, and then put them on one side of the map, and then the rest of the game, like, you all start in fucking a new area, and it used to be where Kalimdor is, and now humans have the north part, and orcs have the south.
Well, and
switch it up because in
the whole map's completely drawn different, or like maybe the conflict between orcs and humans has died down because there's a new conflict. You could do like a Star Trek: The Next Generation thing where it's like the Klingons used to be the bad guy, but now there's a Klingon on the ship and he's a homie. Yeah. Right.
You could have like you could do like race mixing and shit.
Yeah.
Like, let's say the night elf, at some point, because night elves are incredibly like spiritual, like druidic people. They go and hook up with fucking the orcs, who they were enemies at one point, but now they're friends because they both have like a reverence for the fucking like.
Because politics has changed, leaders has changed, alliances has changed, and fucking the map of the world has changed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You go like 1,000 years in the future, where
you
it's
could
like,
do so much.
You change the night elves and the orcs.
You could add like technological advancements, not like super sci-fi, but like maybe make it up to like, I don't know, like the late 1800s type deal, and we've got trains and shit, right? Or
WoW
something.
has zeppelins.
WoW has zeppelins already. Okay.
But they're war balloons, like how you would see in fantasy shit.
Okay.
WoW has like.
I'm saying move it up. Get some. You know, we're 1,000 years in the future. Borders have changed. Technology has changed. Like, do cool shit. Like, because Final Fantasy XIV has siphoned away a huge amount of the WoW crowd and has done what a lot of people thought was impossible in the 2010s, which was get new MMO players instead of siphoning off the WoW crowd. Right. Yeah. Like. People are playing FF14 as their first MMO because it's such a like highly regarded game, and they've got a good way to get people in because everybody who plays the game has that thing they always say to people. Have you played the critically acclaimed MMO Final Fantasy XIV?
There was a good TikTok where a guy's like, "What's not a cult but feels like a cult?" And then it cut the guys stitched it, and he's like,
Have you played
the critically acclaimed FF14 with which you can get like a free trial up to level 60 and through the
award-winning
award Heaven Sword expansion?
Yeah,
I can't though, so fuck that game.
Yeah, excuse me. Which isn't to say that everybody will like it,
but like I just think,
nor will everybody like the WoW 2 that we've just invented. We should pitch this to Blizzard.
I think WoW 2 would be really cool if they did like. Well, I was trying to say it. Like race mixing shit. Yeah. Like, let's eliminate a bunch of the race. Like, humans can still be humans because that's just how it's going to be. You always have to have that like boring ass baseline. Same with dwarves. Keep them.
It just means you can multi-class.
You could have orcs and night elves show up. Yeah, you could have half. You could have fucking
half orcs are in D&D.
Yeah. You like half orcs, half elves because they have like a similar vibe. You could have blood elves hang out with some other arcane fucking asshole. You have blood elves in the Daedra finally like put it all behind them, and then you could have like red or Daedra or like skinny fucking Daedra instead of like.
Yeah, you could introduce new threats. You could introduce new worlds. You could tell different stories with new characters, and then also gives you an excuse to fix every single problem with the game without pissing off the old heads.
Yeah.
Right? Because the old heads are like, we want it like in 2007. And it's like, okay, well, we need to update the game.
There is people who are fucking like infuriated now.
Which isn't to say it's better now than it was in 2007. It's just different because games have to change.
There are people who legitimately thought that when WoW Classic came back, that it would always stay as vanilla WoW, and that you would start getting updates of old, like new raids in the old game. And it's like, no, that's never going to happen. So now, after like 2 years of WoW Classic, they're in the Burning Crusade now.
Yep.
And so they're going to spend 2 years in the Burning Crusade. Then it's going to do Wrath of the Lich King.
Yeah.
And then they might reset back to vanilla, because I don't think they're going to go into Cataclysm, because that's the point where a lot of WoW players were like, this is the death of the game.
Yeah.
Like, because they're correct. Cataclysm changed the world for the worst.
Sure, right. But what I'm saying is we need to A Realm Reborn WoW at this point. Like, it's been alive for 20 years. It needs to be put down. And we need to do something else. Because I'm sure the teams working on WoW are fucking sick of it.
Yeah, or have it, instead of it being like you choose your race and that chooses your faction, you play through the beginning of the game, like your tutorial island shit, and then you choose a faction at the end.
Yeah. Right. Or like, what I think that's what happens at the beginning of FF14.
I don't think there's factions in FF14.
There's not, but there's like alliances, I think.
I know there was that in Terra.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. It's a pretty common way of doing it, actually. It becomes not a huge part of the game and kind of just like an annoyance, because it gets harder to recognize characters as being like bad versus good.
Yeah.
Where like from very far away in WoW, since every character has like, every race has a different way of standing.
Yeah.
You can see from far away like, oh, that's a Tauren, that's an Orc, that's a Troll, it's a Daedra, shit like that.
So this would make the story potentially better, but it might make certain elements and detecting who is friend or foe in like larger scale battles more difficult.
Yeah, but you could also just make it that if someone has PvP on, they have a giant fucking like heart. Also, I've been calling them Daedra.
Yep.
They were Draenei.
That's funny.
Yeah, well, I haven't played WoW in at least like.
You know what, Ian? And I support you, and I'm proud of you.
I never want to go back. I'm so done with MMOs. Except I bought like an MMO. There's one coming out on the 11th called Lost Ark, and I'm like, oh, I'll try it out.
Oh, okay.
It looks more of like a like top-down, like hack and slash sort of thing.
That's cool.
And less of a like stand in one spot with your camera super far behind and press 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see. And it was only like $20.
I thought you were going to say New World, and I was like,
no. New World looks interesting in the fact that it's like it has RuneScape's leveling system, except it's a newer kind of like game.
Yeah.
But other than that, that's like all. I'd rather go play RuneScape.
Yeah, also it's made by Amazon.
I believe Lost Ark is also published by Amazon.
Why did they make...
They didn't make this one. They bought the studio. Or they bought like the publishing rights for the studio.
Why would you, if you are an intelligent company, put out 2 MMOs? You're just competing with yourself. That's like putting out Titanfall 2 and Battlefield 4 or whichever one it was, Battlefield 1, out the same fucking 2 weeks.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Like, stupid. Ugh. Anyway, let's get into the... Do you want to get into the weeks? Do you have anything else you want to talk about? 5 weeks. I have narrowed mine down to like a couple things that I did that I'm interested in talking about. But let's have you go first. What do you want to talk about?
So I was really bored. Like I ran out of things to play.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel like watching anything, so I haven't watched Peacemaker or anything. Mm-hmm. I assume you haven't either because you didn't put it on your thing.
I've watched the first 4, I think.
Oh, cool.
So the newest episode I haven't seen.
I've watched the first episode.
Okay.
Yeah, and like it was all right. Oh, but anyway, so got real bored. I was like, I'll go see what I got on like my PS5 that I haven't finished yet. Mm-hmm. And
you started playing Maneater. I did see you playing.
I did play Maneater. I was going to talk about that one after.
Okay.
I reopened Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and I was super negative about it for like the next 10 hours. But here's the thing, Nathan.
It's addicting.
I fucking love Assassin's Creed.
It's good.
So stupid. It's so complicated. It's worse than like the Marvel Cinematic Universe at this point. There's fucking like Assassin's Creed Valhalla is the 9th game.
I feel like it's been more.
Okay, I'm not including Rogue because that's not really mainline. I'm not including China Chronicles
You mean the side scrollers?
Yeah, and I'm not including Freedom Cry.
Okay.
So it's Assassin's Creed 1, 2, Brotherhood. Oh my God, you're right. If you include the Ezio collection as one game, then
which
I'm
I
wrong.
don't.
So it's 11. So it's Assassin's Creed 1, Assassin's Creed 2,
Brotherhood,
Revelations, Unity. No, 3. Black Flag.
Yep.
Unity.
Yep.
Syndicate.
Origins.
No.
Yeah. After Syndicate, there's Origins.
Oh. Okay, when I said Syndicate, you said Origins at the same time, so I thought you were trying to tell me...
No. Syndicate came before Origins.
Origins,
Syndicate's
Odyssey,
the last
Valhalla.
one I played and enjoyed. Origins I played. I didn't play Odyssey.
Syndicate is like the peak of like the classic playstyle before they went all Dark Souls.
Yeah.
But like I think I was trying to play Assassin's Creed 1 last night. Holy shit.
Game's aged fucking
on
crazily.
PC?
Probably broken
on PC,
ass
man,
port.
no controller support.
What the fuck?
You had to play on keyboard and
It was
mouse.
2007. It was 2007. The same thing happened for RE4 around the same time. But still,
At least RE4
stupid.
is like it's not a first person shooter, but it's a shooter, so it's still like I could still like. But I had to read.
No, sorry. RE4, it's not. You don't have to play with keyboard and mouse. You play with just keyboard.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's bad.
You aim with the keys.
Yeah. Because I played RE4
keys.
with modern controls without modding it or anything.
The second Steam version.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah.
Because it has modern controls as well, where like in old RE4...
And here's the other Assassin's Creed game. So there's
What's
Altair's Chronicles, which was a phone game.
Wait, Empires?
Altair's Chronicles.
Oh, phone game. Okay.
Phone game.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
And DS game, which came out like the year after the first game. Bloodlines for PSP, which was a spin-off with Altair. Discovery, which is the DS version of 2. Liberation, which was a spin-off of 3 that was on the Vita.
I know that one.
Pirates, which was on phone. Freedom Cry, which is like I think
it's a spin-off for 4.
There's
a black
separate
guy,
DLC.
Your
for
first
4.
mate. It's like it's like First Light.
Yeah.
Your first mate in Assassin's Creed Black Flag is this black dude you free from like slavery plantation thing.
Yeah.
And he joins you like all the people you free join your crew. And he is the reason why you even join the assassins at the end of the game. Because he says, like, this is bigger than us, and you need to stop being a fucking selfish prick. He's like your friend the whole time. Yeah.
And then there's the 3 Assassin's Creed Chronicles, which are the side-scrollers.
Which are, like, isn't that just all in China?
No, there's one that's Chronicles China, there's Chronicles India, and Chronicles Russia. Apparently those games are all pretty good.
Yeah. I've heard. Yeah.
And then Identity... Arno's Chronicles and Rebellion are all phone games.
Arno's Chronicles? Who the fuck would want to play as Arno? Literally, Arno is probably the worst Assassin's Creed protagonist.
It's because he wants to fuck the Templar.
Yeah, okay, but it's also that he...
I did like that part of the story, but I don't think that game's very good.
But it's like he wanted to fuck the Templar girl because she's his childhood friend.
Yeah.
Like, but then it's like the whole thing about his dad being an assassin, trying to like reach across the aisle to hang out with the Templars, and then the guy from Assassin's Creed Rogue showing up and killing his dad, and them not telling you that at all. And then Arno growing up as like the stable boy for the rich Templars that had his father murdered, and then you get fucking thrown in prison because you were in the wrong place, wrong time, meeting an assassin, but then you find out that the fucking assassins at the time are like more like the Templars and kind of shitty.
Yeah, it's not a good game.
It's one of those like there's pregnant women on both sides. Like it's like they already did the idea with Rogue, with the guy in Rogue being like a assassin who was tired of the bullshit that the Assassin's Guild was making him do and joining the Templars. But then they were like, oh, let's make another game that's just that as well. But okay, so Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Yeah.
That game is too fucking long.
Yes.
It took me 90 hours to beat.
Yep.
It's got a lot of extra content. It's got some fun stuff. But my biggest problem with that fucking game is that once you start getting tungsten, which is the best upgrade material in the game, you're overpowered and unbeatable. Like, it went from, like, I couldn't fight anyone without them smoking me in 2 hits.
Holy shit.
What?
Did you hear about Assassin's Creed Infinity?
Yeah. I don't like it.
It's Fortnite and GTA Online with the Assassin's Creed.
But then it's also like you're going to play as multiple assassins.
And also, Ian,
games.
You've forgotten that Adi Shankar, who is producing who has produced the Castlevania show, and he's also doing, the DMC show. He's doing an Assassin's Creed anime. And there's also going
which one? Is it about a new
It's going to be an original story.
All right, good.
And be in the same universe. There's also going to be a live-action series and another animated series other than the anime series. And on top of that, you forgot the Assassin's Creed movie
starring Michael Fassbender.
Where
they made the Animus like a full fucking...
That is cool. To be fair, it's a cool design.
It's cooler than fucking Sword Art Onlining yourself into the past.
Yeah.
All right, so you start the game. Every Assassin's Creed game you start as a child, which I think is an interesting way of doing the tutorial.
Also,
especially with Assassin's Creed 2, you started as baby Ezio, and they introduced like the A button kicks your your legs out. Yeah. Your B button makes your right arm go, and your X button made your arm go, and then the Y button made you open your eyes. Yeah. I think that was so funny.
That's so goofy. Yeah, and you're right. Assassin's Creed 3, you don't start as your baby boy.
You start as a child, though.
You start as your dad.
You play at his balls!
Yeah. You start as your dad. And his dad is Edward in fucking Black Flag.
His dad is Edward. Edward, at some point, when he goes back to England, joins up with Templars again.
Is that what it is?
And then Haytham Haytham is a Templar.
I thought it was Haytham was an assassin, and he joined the Templars because he hated Edward.
Probably one of those.
Yeah.
And then Connor joins the Assassins because
he's native.
And the Assassins preach freedom, where the Templars preach order. Mm-hmm. The Assassins preach chaos.
Yeah.
Yeah. So fucking Valhalla. Like, literally, you start the game, baby, you watch your father get killed, you get adopted by the clan leader, your brother is the clan leader's son, who believes himself to be he will be the king of Norway one day. Right.
So, I think it's really funny that Origins and Odyssey... So, Origins is the first assassin.
No.
Yes.
No. Here's the thing. No, because... Origins is the creation of the modern Assassin's Guild as we know it.
Yeah.
Hidden Ones had already existed around the time of Odyssey because Cassandra is the great-grandmother of Bayek.
Yeah, which is stupid.
And that's why she doesn't have it. And that's why they originally, prior to the first DLC, Cassandra does not have a hidden blade. She used the Spear of Leonidas, but the Spear of Leonidas is also in the shape of the assassin logo. But then in the first DLC, you meet these two Persian dudes who are on the run from the Persian Empire,
because presumably
the Ottoman Empire.
Yeah,
and you get the father, the old man, because depending if you're playing as Cassandra, he has a son who is just a normal man boy, a normal man who is just trying to be killed by his father's enemies, and if you play as Alexios, he has a daughter.
Yeah.
But the canon one is Cassandra because she's the better character.
Okay.
And you meet up with them. You help the father slay all the the Ottomans that are coming after him. And then there's a 10-year time skip that happens where Cassandra or Alexios fucks or gets fucked, has the baby that is Bayek's grandparent, and then your spouse gets fucking murdered, and you give the baby back up to your father-in-law, and he takes the baby to Egypt. And that's how the modern Assassin's Guild gets started there. But they had hidden blades.
But you make the first hidden blade in Origins.
But the hidden blade already existed. Because then Cassandra...
The literal next game is a prequel to the first fucking thing that happens.
Yeah.
It's so stupid.
Alright, so...
And also, you forgot to mention, in Assassin's Creed Origin, it's confirmed that Final Fantasy 15 exists. Because you could
Noctis was an Isu! He was a god!
Yeah. No, there's chocobos.
Yeah?
Yeah.
As like a
okay,
collaboration
hold on. There's a Final Fantasy collaboration.
All right, while you looked it up,
Okay.
so Valhalla, the beginning of the game is that you get adopted by the Jarl. Your brother's supposed to be the next Jarl, and then you find out that your father is giving up the entire like land to this bigger motherfucker who's like, I am the king of Norway. Mm-hmm. And so you guys leave and go to England and manifest destiny. That shit.
Okay. So the Final Fantasy 15 collab is there's like a place marked on the map. You see a meteorite falling, and when you go there, there's a mysterious number 15, but it's XV. Then you exit the tomb. There's a sundial. Then you can do a bunch of shit. You go in. You can get the Ultima Blade, the Zedric, and a legendary mount called Queh, which is a fucking chocobo. Like, it's just a chocobo instead of a camel.
That's fun.
Which is fun, but also that means... Now, in Origins, the explanation that you fight gods is that it's like animus glitches or whatever the fuck.
Oh, okay. Because Okay, go on. So it's animus glitches is the reason why you were able to encounter gods.
Yeah, and shit like that, and like magic shit. But this doesn't seem to be explained the same way.
So it historically happened.
I think historically a meteorite hit the Earth that was a Final Fantasy meteorite.
Okay. So the reason...
But in FF15, there's a festival for Assassin's Creed, and Assassin's Creed is a video game in the FF15 universe.
Okay. All right. So, So you leave, you go to England to manifest destiny. Mm-hmm. A bunch of shit happens. You start placing kings and eldermen, and like you pretty much make the lords of the land become friends with you as Vikings. Mm-hmm. You get Alfred the Great off the throne. He wasn't great yet, but he becomes great because you don't kill him at the end of the game. You cannot, because he is historically the man who kicks the Norse out of England.
Yes.
So, but this is him at a younger age. Your brother gets kidnapped by the Order of Ancients in this game. I don't know what the fuck they were called in Origins. They are the precursors to the Templars, but in Odyssey they were called the Cult of the Cosmos. They tear his arm off.
Yeah.
He finds out, he believes himself to be a descendant of the gods.
Yeah.
And he comes back, he behaves like a little shit, you go make more friends, and then you guys go back to Norway to find Valhalla. Mm. And you do, but you defined it as like a giant animus machine. That's like from ancient technology. And you find this old woman already hanging onto it, and Eivor looks up and recognizes that it is the seer of your clan, her mother. So she discovered this place years before and put herself in because she was dying. And now she can live forever in Valhalla.
Because she's in the past with the animus.
Yeah. But so then you enter Valhalla.
I'm still super, like, I get that it's like this was answered in 3, but God, like, the fucking shit with the cool...
It gets so much crazier.
It's just I used to love the modern shit, and now the modern shit all sucks ever since 4.
It gets so fucking wild. So, all right. So the reason why your brother starts to go down this like whole trend of thinking he's a god and stuff is because he meets this assassin from Egypt named Basim.
Who is related to Bayek, I'm guessing.
No, he's just an assassin. Okay. He's not related. I'll tell you who he's related to in a second.
Desmond.
No. It's fucking weird. So you go... I'm going to pause. So you go to the Valhalla machine, you go to Valhalla, and you kind of realize it's a fraud. Eivor loses all of his faith and discovers that religion is a lie, and Valhalla was just a myth that Jarls and the elders had perpetuated, so you would die fighting for the clan and not have any regrets.
Yeah.
So that gave you the desire. And that's like kind of leads into the end of the game where you go to do a final battle against King Alfred, and you talk to like an older guy there. And you just straight up say, I don't think Valhalla exists. And he goes like, yeah, but if you tell everyone else that, they'll probably give up on fighting. So, yeah. But then when you go to escape from the Valhalla machine, because you're like, it's all a lie, Odin tries to stop you. Because Odin has been in every single time you killed like a major character in the game.
Yeah.
Odin shows up to have a conversation with you.
And you know it's Odin?
You know it's Odin.
The whole time?
It is Javi. Odin's real name is Javi.
Yeah.
Because Odin is a title. Javi was his name.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Or that's how it is perpetuated in this game.
Okay.
But earlier in the game, after you finish like the first 2 zones, you can go see your seer, and she's like, "I have a potion for you." And because you have these visions, and you tell her about it, where you see Odin and you see the other gods, and she's
it's like how in the old Assassin's Creed, when you did the special murders, you get that little like moment talking to the dead person.
You still
right?
get that in this. It's just that Odin shows up for some of them. And some of them are really like beautifully like cinematically done.
Yeah, I really liked those in the first couple, but they didn't do them in 4 onward for
They kind
of
of stopped, and then they made it like, I think in 4 Edward kills the guy, and then you lie there and have a conversation, but guards are supposed to be around you trying to kill you.
So that was always what it was, like it's just time stops and they have the little conversation.
But then also, if in Assassin's Creed 1, at least, I can't remember what they do in 2, if this was still there. In Assassin's Creed 1, they would lie there and just tell your story. Yeah. But if you fucking press, like, you know those glitches that came on screen?
Yeah.
If you pressed, like, the A button or something during those, it would change to a different perspective where, like, the guy would get, like, a model to, like, he would do, like, a full body performance now instead of just being, like, and I was going to be the ruler of all of them, but if you pressed A at the right time, it would be like, and I was going to be king!
Yeah.
Yeah, so you get Odin tries to stop you, and you have to take your axe, you have to, like, drop your axe and run away, or else he always pulls you back via your axe.
Yeah.
And then this is where I had a different ending of the game than Michael did. Or I had a different perspective of the game than Michael did.
Okay.
Because I did the Valhalla segments where you take a drug and you go into Valhalla and you play as Odin, who is also voiced by the guy who plays Eivor, and you meet up with Freya, Tyr, Thor, and Loki.
Yeah.
And all those people share voice actors.
With other characters in the game.
Tyr shares your brother's voice, who, when you're trying to prevent Ragnarok, gets his arm ripped off by Fenrir. And guess who loses his arm in the game? Your brother. Loki, you don't find this out till the end of the game, fucking spoilers, is played by Basim. So the whole game is about the whole visions that you have with as Odin is you trying to prevent his death in Ragnarok. Because Ragnarok is the end of all things for the Aesir and the Vanir.
Yeah.
And the other thing, the only people who would survive are humans. So he's so paranoid that he goes to the well of Mimir. He sees Mimir's giant head. He rips out his eye, and you get the mead. That he then shares with all of his family except for Loki, because Loki had betrayed him by this point. Yeah. And then but it's said that it's not that you get to live again. It's that your essence goes back into the world tree and then will be reconstituted in another life. So reincarnation. Yeah. So Eivor is the direct reincarnation of Odin. Sigurd is the direct reincarnation of your brother, but that means somehow, we don't know why, Basim is the direct reincarnation of Loki. So after
Basim, who is the assassin, is actually a piece of shit.
Yes. So after you escape out of the Valhalla machine, Basim is there to try and kill you, yelling about how you killed his son. Because Odin kills Fenrir.
Right.
So Basim, even though Eivor doesn't really have these recollections of a previous life, he just thinks they're visions and warnings, but he doesn't really connect them. Yeah. Basim has also had the same visions of a previous life, but he recognizes that he is Loki. So in the final fight, he's just screaming at you about how you killed his son, and Michael didn't understand, and I'm fighting him going like, oh my fucking god! Yeah. And then like you get him trapped inside the Valhalla machine. I looked it up. Do you remember, you played Assassin's Creed 4, right? Yeah. Remember that one fucking dickhead, I can't remember his last name, but his name was Robert. He was like another pirate that the Templars wanted because they called him a sage.
I forget. I don't remember.
It's so complicated. Sages are a thing in the Assassin's Creed universe where you have full-on memories of your past life.
Oh, okay.
Like, you just remember things and you know shit. So, Basim is a sage because he remembers... And so is Eivor. Basim is a sage because he remembers every single bit of Loki's life. And he believes himself to be Loki as well.
Right.
So you end up not being able to like beat him for some reason, and you trap him inside the Valhalla machine.
Mm-hmm.
So now you go into the future in the year 2019, and you're playing as Layla.
Layla, who is the chick from...
She's in Origins
and Odyssey.
She gets the staff of Hermes from Cassandra, so she is like technically immortal or something.
Yeah.
This is very important. The staff of Hermes pretty much gives you protection from the elements and stuff. Yeah. So she is like, it's massive radiation in there, and she would die if she was a normal person. Mm-hmm. Because she has the staff, she's not. So she goes in, you go through this parkour segment, you get to the Valhalla machine, she holds the staff, she gets put into it, but then she drops the staff.
Yeah.
And who does she meet inside the Valhalla machine? A man called the Reader.
The what?
The Reader.
The Reader.
Because he's been sitting there like He Who Remains. Yeah. And reading all the timelines and doing calculations on how to like direct the world in the best way where they don't prevent the end of the world. But guess who he's voiced by?
The same guy who played Loki?
Nope, Nolan North. It's Desmond.
It's Desmond!
Yeah.
That's cool.
He's like become like a computer brain where he knows that he used to be human, but he like doesn't talk about himself like he used to be alive.
Right.
But when Layla, she leaves a message for Rebecca and Sean, who are your handlers, that you believe the Reader is Desmond, but you know you're dying. Because Layla's like, I can stay inside the machine and not die. I have the staff of Hermes.
Yeah.
And Desmond's like, no, you don't. You dropped it. She's like, I guess I'll stay here and die with it and just be a computer brain forever. Yeah. But Basim, who was put inside the machine 1,000 years ago,
yep,
he meets her and greets her inside of it.
Yeah.
And then he dislodges himself. But he's like a rotted corpse outside, so he should die.
Yep.
He falls. His hand lands on top of the staff of Hermes. Mm-hmm. It rejuvenates him back to the age he was when he went into the Valhalla machine, so he's like 30 again.
Yeah.
In the year 2019.
Ooh.
So he is now... But then also he picks up the staff and says, "It worked, my love." And it says in the fucking subtitles, Alethea. She's like, it all went according to plan. Because Alethea was also, back in the Norse times, known as Angerboda. Loki's wife. And so now then you go back to this fucking Basim, who like Sean and Rebecca know he's a fucking villain.
Yeah.
And he just goes like, "I'm here now," and he's like, "I would like to speak to William Miles, please," because he's like the current head of, like, Desmond's dad is the head of all the assassins.
Oh, okay.
And then they're like, "Okay, we'll set up a meeting. You can just chill here." And he's like, "All right."
We haven't seen that fucking guy since like 3.
Yeah. And so so you get to go. That's the end of the game. Now you get to go back into the Animus, but now you're Basim controlling Eivor.
Oh.
It's so complicated.
It is.
Like, I went from like fucking hating the game during the earlier stages because the combat was really rough and I didn't want to just do full assassination shit. Because also the full stealth in Odyssey was really fun because you could zip around like a dickhead. Like, there was one move you got where you took the Spear of Leonidas and just whipped it at people's chests from far away.
Yeah.
But then you would instantly teleport to them. It was just funny.
Yeah.
But like how it worked. But then in fucking like Eivor, they like grounded him. They took away like a lot of his a lot of the magical aspects of abilities and shit.
Yeah, Odyssey was like, I think, probably too much the other way.
Yeah, but then Odyssey also does the bullshit where the DLCs, you go to Hades and you fight Hades. And you
like,
go
that is awesome, but also like it is just truly an excuse.
Yeah.
At this point, like,
where at least with Valhalla, it's like you don't fit, your character doesn't physically go there. You go there through like a mind thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like I really didn't like the game until like I started to get towards the end, and I'm like, fuck yeah. But there is sections of that game that I just wish I didn't play. There's like missions where it's like, wow, this just sucks.
And again, like, I know a lot of people post Origins really found a second win with Assassin's Creed because they changed it up. But the problem for me is they did this stupid thing and they just made it way more open world with way more shit and added more RPG elements and fucking I think gear and rarity and all this like nonsense that I just don't like in games.
Is gone in Valhalla, but it's replaced by like like remember in Final Fantasy 15?
Yeah.
Because I know you played this one, so I know you can like the engine blade. How you could go to Sid and he would upgrade that weapon for you, and it would keep getting better and better. It's similar to that aspect where it's like you're wearing the Raven Clan gear and you get like a weapon you enjoy, and you can walk up and then you go to your blacksmith and he was like, all right, if you give me nickel, I can make it from fine to superior. To then if you give him like nickel's the second one. Whatever. Nickel makes it better, and then like bronze, silver, gold shit. And if you give him tungsten, he makes it the best one.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's like a good upgrading system instead of the fucking bullshit that you did with Odyssey and I guess in Origins, where like you're constantly getting new gear. That just
I hope it's a purple.
Yeah, and then in Odyssey they kind of really fucked it because they added in a ton of like ultra legendary gear. But then once you got that legendary gear, it's like everything else is just like space in your inventory that you're constantly like breaking down or selling. That's
true. But that's true in every game like that.
Every game that's a looter has that issue. That's why I think the best form of those games is like that system in Final Fantasy 15, Monster Hunter, Dark Souls.
Because Final Fantasy 15 doesn't have loot, but there is a lot of weapons. But because it's based on like the Final Fantasy system,
but you collect the weapons and you upgrade the weapons, so you get unique weapons that you
for
upgrade.
the main weapons. But for your friends' weapons, it's just like literally binary. You pick up new weapon and it's either better or worse. There's no loot. There's no random element.
But there's weapons that you can also still with those.
And you can upgrade
the great sword. You can still upgrade. We're in agreement here.
Yes.
Upgrading weapons is infinitely better than getting a million shitty weapons.
Yeah.
So yeah, honestly, Final Fantasy, Assassin's Creed Valhalla is on my fucking like.
It's tier list, but it's like maybe not as high up as other games.
It's got. I can't remember where I put it now.
I know you didn't play this game this year.
It's not S, that's for sure.
It's no Sayonara Wild Hearts.
I didn't play that this year. So
no, that was like previous years. But that I remember the year that you played that, you put that on your list.
Yeah.
Because that game fucking slaps, dude. That game's awesome. And it's also, like 90 minutes long.
Like, the games, this is the problem with like these fucking modern games. It's way too fucking long. There's way too much bloat. But then it feels like if I don't do the bloat or the fucking and do all the length, I'm going to have a bad time later on.
Exactly.
Like, I got, at the end...
And it's clearly from Michael not knowing, there is important context to the story hidden behind side bullshit.
Yeah. And so you can also, there's 2 legendary weapons you can get. You're in England.
Yep. So Excalibur. You get the Excalibur.
But you have to collect 11 tablets.
Of course you do.
So, but 5 of them are carried by these zealots, like these high-level enemies you have to fight.
Yeah, and in Assassin's Creed 2, you had to collect like 100 feathers to get like one of the worst items in the game.
Yeah, that item does suck. the Auditore cape that makes you a fucking villain everywhere you go.
Everybody wants to kill you.
I did it. I got it. Go.
I didn't.
I have 100% of that game.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like you have to collect these 11 tablets, and then you can go pick up Excalibur, or you can do these random quest lines that lead to you getting pieces of Thor's armor. But you have to beat the game, which is the unfortunate part. And then you can go to this unmarked spot in the northern part of Norway.
And you can find Mjolnir.
But you can only pick it up if you're wearing all of Thor's armor.
Yeah.
So, and Mjolnir is a really good weapon.
Of course.
But it's like,
fucking Mjolnir.
Like Excalibur, at least, if you just grinded, you could get that early on in the game.
Yeah.
Or if you were just really fucking good. Or you set the game to be easy as fuck when you
I think the reason why you have to wait till post-game to get Thor's hammer is because it spoils the ending. Like,
I think it spoils the Valhalla stuff. Because the Valhalla stuff with the Ragnarok straight up says that they were real. Like, the gods were... Just like how they did in Odyssey and Origins. The gods were real. It's just that they were Isu. That, like, incredibly technologically advanced race that enslaved humans, like, millennia ago.
Yeah. I think Assassin's Creed, that part of the lore is really fucking interesting.
Yeah. It's just that they have to shoehorn it into like history stuff sometimes.
Yeah,
I just want the Assassin's Creed back in the city.
I'd love that. Like people were always like, "Hey, let's do modern day," and of course, like Watch Dogs is technically like a modern day Assassin's Creed. Like it takes place in the same universe, and I think there's explicit references to both the Assassins and Abstergo.
Yeah, but that could just be like a referential thing. Like kind of like how Saints Row and Red Faction Guerrilla are technically in the same universe.
All the Red Factions and all the Saints
No,
Rows.
only the ones made by Volition. So Red Faction Guerrilla and Armageddon. But then
the first two were also.
But then Saints Row
3 and 4.
3 brings you closer because there's the Saints on Mars joke, and then I think they said let's actually go to Mars or some shit. Yeah. And then for Saints Row 4 though, they destroy everything, so all stuff that could have possibly happened in the future is gone.
So there is a split timeline, I think, between 3 and 4 where they don't become the president, where you don't become the president, but like it leads to
you just use your power that you have over Altor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else? Yeah, so, Watch Dogs. In Watch Dogs 1, and that game, of course, came out at the same time as Black Flag.
Yeah.
So in Black Flag, the head of Ubisoft Montreal, Abstergo Montreal, leaves, and then there are emails where it's like, nobody's seen him. Where the fuck did he go? But he leaves for a meeting. It's like, yes, he has a meeting in Chicago. And Aiden Pierce... in Watch Dogs, one of your missions is to kill him, and you do.
So, like an assassin mission.
It is, yeah. Like, the implication is that the assassins...
Yeah, and then in Watch Dogs 2, though, they straight up made it that it's Ubisoft.
Right? Oh, shit.
They, made that fake video game trailer that you steal from Ubisoft.
Ubisoft San Francisco, yeah. Shit. Well, Ubisoft is maybe a subsidiary of Abstergo.
Ubisoft, that's why they try and sweep all this bad news under the rug.
Yeah.
Honestly, if I was a game reviewer at IGN or something, I would give Assassin's Creed Valhalla a pretty glowing review.
Yeah.
But then give it a 3 out of 10 and say you're fucking upper
water.
Management are pieces of shit and you guys don't deserve anything.
Yes.
Yeah.
But also you'd probably be like, the game suffers from the fucking disease affecting big AAA games, which is everything has to be a giant open world with a million fucking things to do.
Yeah, there's so much.
Because
it gets so pointless as well. Like I have gold gear. I'm pretty set on what I want to use, but then it's still like, oh, go still collect the low level shit. Yeah. It's like, bro, that's too much.
Who fucking cares?
It's so much shit. I don't need this.
Yeah.
I'd rather grind out money and buy it from a store than have to keep going and finding them. There should be a set amount that is free where it's like, oh, cool, now you can upgrade the armor you have. Like, more than enough to upgrade, 1 or 2 sets of armor. But not every fucking armor set in the game. Yeah,
I think, if you do want to make a giant RPG, which not everything needs to be, they're just using these RPG elements to, hook people onto longer and longer things.
Yeah.
So that they keep paying on for other DLCs and shit. But, honestly, I think if you want to use a good idea of the thing you're making, if you want to tell a story and make something that's compelling but still want to do open world, I think the Cyberpunk model isn't terrible, where it's the story for Cyberpunk, the actual story missions, the game's less than 20 hours.
Yeah, but then the good part about Cyberpunk is
it just goes out.
It's you get, here's a straight line, but then things keep branching off. Go meet up with Pan Am, go meet up with
all these other
Judy,
characters,
go meet up with fucking, and then there's two. I would say the Carrie Uridine shit is really easy to miss, and the River Ward shit is pretty easy to miss.
Yeah.
But Judy and Pan Am,
and I think the River Ward part of the story is actually pretty compelling.
Yeah. It's a dude who's a cop who's the fucking tape, fucking red tape and shit, is stopping him from being a cop. Yeah. Or stopping him from being a good cop.
Yeah.
Then he has to go do Punisher shit, but then also you can stop him, talk him down and be you still have to be nice. Don't be a fucking asshole.
Be a good person.
Yeah.
Stop being a policeman. It's not good for you.
And then he stops being a cop.
Yeah.
And then he tries to fuck you, and I say, no, Judy Alvarez, get out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a man, and you don't like me.
Yeah, so I guess I'll settle for Pan Am.
No, yeah, well, I'll settle for Pan Am. I love Pan Am.
In terms of the women in the game, both Pan Am and Judy are fucking neck and neck.
They're both great.
And then you get
for the guys,
the straight guy and the gay guy.
Who's the gay guy?
Carrie.
Who's Carrie?
The guy, he's an 80-year-old man. He's Johnny's bandmate.
Oh, I don't think I actually talked to that guy.
Yeah, so you have to you go and infiltrate his house or something, and you fucking meet up with him, but then he's like going on this fucking like old anarchist punk shit where he's just like screaming about how like he like wrote a song for some new fucking like girl group or whatever, like some fake ass band, or he thinks they're a fake ass band, like a corporate made band.
Yeah.
And then you go there to like destroy their, try and like
Excuse me?
Scene 1, you're on face cam only. What the fuck? Pod recording.
There we go.
It was funny how the other one, go back up.
Yeah.
Scroll through. No, one more. That actually, you know what? That's fine.
Yeah.
Face cam only. It like still matches up like perfectly fine.
So, yeah. So face cam only is just me. Hey. Scene one is and screen only. Yeah. Yeah.
That's a fucking line. I thought it did it again. Okay, so yeah, so you go actually meet the girl group, and you find out they were like actually 3 friends who started a band, and they were like big fans of like old samurai recordings and shit, and so Carrie instantly fucking changes his tune and shit, and then you can go and have sex with him.
Great,
but only if you are gay.
Mm-hmm.
Like a
male guy, which
is the word. I think like it's cool that
he seems cooler. Okay, I would not fuck River. First of all, he's super boring. Also, his nephew's right in the other room. You fucking freak.
Yeah, I think honestly,
also he's a cop.
Sexuality. I think honestly,
I think it's weird that you only get there's no bi options. Like, none of the 4 characters who you can fuck are bi.
Yeah. They're straight binary.
Yeah.
Straight or gay.
Yeah.
Or lesbian.
And so that means when you're a man, you get 2 options, and when you're a woman, you get 2 options, which is weird.
But then the thing is like, one of the options kind of sucks. Like, River's okay, but like you said, you gotta fuck him next to his nephew.
The old punk guy is at least punk.
Yeah, but it's like he's like a corporate punk now. Oh. It's like that fucking Calvin and Hobbes strip where he talks about how like the guys who used to rage against the establishment are now part of the establishment. So Carrie's talking mad shit about record labels, but then as soon as he finds out that like the young artist idolized him, he instantly turns around and goes like, I'm going to be their manager now. So it's like, oh, so you are the establishment.
Yeah.
It's the problem with cyberpunk. It's that I think the best review for it was like a lot of cyber, not enough punk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you're like too okay with working with the government and shit all the time.
Literally, some of the missions that you do on the map are working with the police.
Yeah. A lot of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like if you ever go somewhere and it's like you got to go save someone or some shit, you get a call. Well, you get a call from your fucking like broker in that district. But they're like, the cops put this one in. And it's like, why the fuck are the cops putting shit in? Also, you see cops, like, fucking come down and annihilate, like, some people who robbed a fucking, like...
Yeah.
Like, grocery store. Like, the cops should be, like, a scary presence. Yeah. Not an annoying presence.
Well, and, like... It can be both because it's like there's that human element to it, right? And I think that's important.
River being a detective should be the human element.
Yeah.
Where you find out that detectives still try and do work, but then the thing that's stopping him could have just been like those fucking insurance guys that came down at the beginning of the game when you're saving that girl who are super aggressive to you, or when you're driving back over the bridge to like go back to your apartment and shit.
Yeah.
Or, well, like, you're not driving. Your boy's driving. Jackie is driving so that you can get, like, the cinematic look around. And you stop in front and the fucking, like, cops show up and blast those dudes away. It should be that there's, like, a corporate fucking police force.
Dude, if we play the fucking Cyberpunk tabletop game, I'm going to play. We're going to play it. It's going to be fun.
But, like, what I'm saying is that River should
I told you my pitch for what the first campaign will be with Cyberpunk, right?
Yeah, you have. River's like the one who's trying to like actually help people, and there should be like corporate cops who are showing up and being like, bro, they're fucking dead. Like, you people mean nothing to us.
Yeah.
Unless you make over like a fucking like $1 billion a year, you're fucking trash.
Yeah, so actually one of the things, this is either from Cyberpunk or it's from Valhalla. But essentially that the police...
Not Assassin's Creed Valhalla, VA11H4L.
Cyberpunk Bartender Action.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's from 2016. I don't know. But I think in current Cyberpunk canon, the city got nuked and then came back together.
Yeah.
So
that's in
post that, all of the police are actually like
robots.
No, owned by. It's like a private thing, but it's owned by a coalition of the companies.
Oh, so it's not just
they all pay into
Arasaka.
it.
It's like
they all pay into it. Arasaka is way less important to the story in the previous shit.
I still would be much cooler if you did something like that.
Again, one of my biggest complaints is that the most evil company is the one that's like not American, and it's like, okay, great.
But then also, it's like you can't truly do any damage to them because no matter what, at the end they come back in like a better way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like it just like I wish the game ended on a even if like they do that you have 6 months to live bullshit.
Yeah,
I wish they did like you can fucking just go out in a blaze of glory and fucking destroy everything.
Yeah.
Like, be Johnny Silverhand again, blow up that fucking building, but do it and like, take down, like, the sister and the brother at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, destroy that fucking family. That would be so cool.
Yeah. Or other ways to do it, right? Because I think the nuke dropping thing, spoiler alert, is stupid.
Well, like, you mean when Johnny does it?
Yeah.
It is fucking stupid. Because all it did, was destroy a part of the city and allow Arasaka to come in with their, like, insurance money to kill a lot of civilians, Arasaka to come back in with a lot of money and take over that part of the city they destroyed.
Yeah.
It's just dumb.
In Cyberpunk Red...
But that's the point of Johnny's story, is that, like, and the way he talks, is he doesn't think about the big picture. He, like, beelines to, like, an idea.
Yeah.
Because he didn't listen to anyone around him, where you should have had people around you that would talk to you. Like, you make this whole cast of friends. Mm-hmm. They should all sit there and be like, this is, like, each perspective. Like, where fucking Judy could be, like, full on, or Judy could be also, like, I hate the government, but I understand institutions. Yeah. Pan-Am could be like, I fucking hate them all. And River going, like, are they really that bad? And then Carrie should have been a different character.
Yeah. Also, I think... and this isn't just because she's voiced by an actress who I really like, that Jackie's girlfriend should have been more of a character.
Yeah.
Because she's cute. She runs her little store with tarot cards and shit.
You should, like, to go to the fucking back alley doctor, you have to go through her store.
Yeah, right? So, like, I think she's great.
Mm-hmm.
I think I liked what I saw of her character because she's, like, a real hippie type.
She's like a real hippie type in this fucking futuristic world where, like, nothing is real anymore.
Which is fun, and it's like, you should be friends with this woman. Mm-hmm. Like, she knows you. You should talk to her more, and she should be more important to the story.
Yeah. Like, I know it's a cliche, but dear God, what if they were just like, oh, she's, like, pregnant with Jackie's kid?
That would be something.
Because then also it would have so much more meeting, like, at the funeral, where you try and, like, get her and her mother to reconnect.
Yeah.
And convince her to go up and say something, because it was like, she was practically Jackie's wife.
Yeah.
Like, that's would have been, like... She's used to be like, it's sad that Jackie's dead, and there's a non-player character that you get to interact with more than once.
Yeah.
That is sad that he's dead. Because when you talk to your fucking, like, the guy, I can't remember his name right now, the dude who cuts you up and shit.
The doctor?
Yeah. He's like, yeah, it's a real shame that Jackie's dead. Anyways, would you like me to pull your eyeball out again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Anyway, Cyberpunk exists. It's a video game.
Yeah.
But yeah,
talk about something.
I want to talk about some shit. Hell yeah. So I watched some animated shows recently.
Yeah, you watched about 4.
I watched... oh, I forgot to put one on here.
Watch 5.
I watched 5. No, so I watched... let's start with The Owl House. So The Owl House is
a bit of it.
It's a Disney show.
Yeah. It's tragic that they did not keep it going.
So here's the weird thing. So Owl House is a Disney show, and it's basically, if you were a huge fan of Gravity Falls, it's if Gravity Falls was the boys' Twin Peaks version of this show, then this is the girls' Harry Potter version of this show, of the same tone.
Yeah.
At the very least, so essentially, Luz is a Dominican American teenager who is a weirdo and an outcast, and she goes into another world that is a fantasy world, and she starts training under a witch outlaw called the Owl Lady.
Because if you're not directly affiliated with like the magic people there, they want, or there's like
if
an
you
empire.
don't sort yourself into a box.
You can only do one type of magic.
Yeah, if you don't sort yourself into a box that is useful to the people in charge, then you do not get to be a magic user. You're an outlaw.
Well, isn't there like people who get to use more magic, but you have to become like
if you're
a slave to them, pretty much?
So essentially, what it is like there's wild magic, which is like where all magic comes from, right? And then there's like all the different versions of magic, and then that when you get tracked into the final thing, essentially you join a clan or a coven. It's a coven, and one of those covens is working under the emperor, and they can use multiple types of magic.
But they're also the only ones who get to learn how to do like directly offensive magic.
It's not specifically said that, because I think all magic can be directly offensive.
But like if you go to take the course where you go under that coven, they were like, all right, so this is how you hurt other people with it.
Yeah.
Where everyone else is more utility use.
Yeah. I like the show a lot. It's really fun. It's got likable characters. Again, very similar to Gravity Falls. Has a lot of the same staff working on it.
Yeah. Alex Hirsch is there.
Alex Hirsch is in it. Also, his girlfriend is the creator of this show. Really fun thing is that the main character, Luz, is bisexual, and she gets a girlfriend in this show.
Which one? Is it the cunt?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
You could kind of tell.
Yeah,
she gets a good redemption arc. She's great.
Well, you always got it.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a good show. There's really cool action in here. It's fun. I think it's quite funny. Tells a good story. Like Gravity Falls. You like that show? You probably like this one.
Yeah.
The sad thing is, so they're currently on season 2, but there's been a huge hiatus since I think November. On season 2, which is something that did also happen to Gravity Falls. But basically what ended up happening is Disney essentially approved that instead of making a third season of this show, they're just going to do like a fucking 3 or 4 specials that finish the ending. And then the show's going to be over, which sucks. And they should have let the show go on much longer, because it's a quality show, and I don't really get why they canceled it, especially because I don't really see much else on Disney that's like popping off right now.
No.
Right?
No good, other than like Encanto.
No. I'm talking about the Disney Channel, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Like the cartoons, the TV shows,
Yeah.
Like...
There's nothing.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, the Owl House is the only real current thing they have that's popping off on Disney.
Since Gravity Falls, I literally can't think of a single like show Disney has had that was good.
Yeah, let me take a look.
Like, in terms of like cartoons, I think that were good. Like post Gravity Falls, like Star vs. the Forces of Evil is not a Disney show; it was a Nickelodeon show.
Yeah.
Craig of the Creek is a Cartoon Network show. Like, it's just like it's either Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon right now. Disney's just like falling off to the wayside.
Like is the Big Hero 6 show still on?
No, they're doing a Baymax show now, aren't they?
Oh, okay, that's Disney Plus.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I'm talking like whole company shit.
Yeah, they nerfed the MILF. Okay, I think Big City Greens is still going on, which I've heard some things about. They canceled DuckTales.
Wow, really?
Ages ago, yeah. Oh. Gravity Falls is over.
DuckTales got like a pretty good run, though.
Yeah. I think there's a current like Marvel cartoon going on. Oh, yeah, there's that Spider-Man show that's like not that good. But I'm sure it's popular because it's fucking Spider-Man. Yeah, I'm trying to see... Yeah, because they replaced the Ultimate Spider-Man, which I was like, thank God, and then they replaced it with another show that's also not good. I think it's better, but still. Oh, they like everything's on Disney Plus now. Like I was gonna say, they're bringing back the fucking X-Men cartoon, but that's gonna be a Disney Plus, and also no child's actually gonna watch that. That's all for like loser adults. I'm the loser adult, in case you didn't get that joke and you think I'm calling you a loser. Mm-hmm. Oh, Amphibia, also apparently doing pretty well. That didn't get canceled.
Yeah, I don't know. I watched the show. It's all right.
I have not seen the show. I just know of it.
Yeah, it's whatever.
It's whatever. Oh man, they're adding a lot more of those FX shows on Disney Plus finally, which is good. Like Legion's good. It's not a cartoon.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, so like Owl House is good. Check it out if you want to. I'm not like fucking fight for this show. Like again, Disney is still like 8 years too late to the cartoon lesbians thing, but at the very least they're doing it.
Yeah. Fucking Adventure Time hit us so early.
Well, and then Korra before that. Korra did it first. There's just the ending, but still.
I guess. Yeah, but Adventure Time at least... Okay, Adventure Time had an on-screen kiss before that.
No, well, so Korra ended before Adventure Time made it canon that even her and Bubblegum were exes instead of ex-friends.
Yeah.
And then, so they did like, they're exes, and then they had on-screen kiss and those things ongoing after Korra ended. Because I think Korra, I think, started it, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, sure.
Even though it's like Korra wasn't allowed to show anything except for them like holding hands and walking into the gateway together until the comics, and then they're making out all the fucking time. Mm-hmm. But you know, I think that started it, and then Adventure Time and Steven Universe got to do way more with queer rep than Korra did. But it's like, you know, Korra walked and struggled to even take that step so that those later shows could run, and this show. Yeah, they kiss and hold hands and shit. It's
Korra
cute.
got to stand up.
Yeah.
And so was about to start running, and then someone put their foot out and kicked it out, like the classic trip. Then Adventure Time was able to see that happen and hopped over it.
Yeah.
And then Steven Universe was just like kicking the leg as it ran
past. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Because Steven Universe, from its basis...
Yeah.
is super fucking gay.
Yeah.
And then you get to like the shit where it's like, Garnet and like is actually two gems who are like constantly in a state of like
I think there's like implication at lesbianism, and then like when Garnet turns out to be two people, you're like, oh shit, lesbians have been here the whole time.
There was always implications that Pearl was in love with Steven's mother, and that's why she hates Greg.
Yeah.
But then, like, as soon as it's like you find out that Garnet is two gems fusing, and then the way they've always described like fusion as like
love
a
or
pure
sex.
Amount of trust in battle, but then like for someone to stay fused at all times is like a crazy amount of like holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm so much better when I'm together.
Yeah. And then Nicki Minaj was in one episode.
That's good for Nicki Minaj.
Yeah. I talked a lot about Assassin's Creed. You want to talk about it like Inside
sure.
Job?
Inside Job. So Ian's already watched this show. I watched the show. I didn't have that much to say, but it's fun.
Yeah.
It's a fun show. It's entertaining. I watched it 4 weeks ago.
I think the show
in one day.
I think the show starts a bit too hard on like the cliches.
Yeah.
Like the first episode is like, oh, someone incompetent is here to replace me. Or like
the thing that I think is funny is that like it's so weird that the show kind of like breaks its own narrative, because that show is considered a loser. That character is considered like a loser for so much of the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Even though like the entire purpose of him is that everybody likes him.
Brett. Well, everyone still likes Brett. It's just that like it comes out that it's like Brett has some deep emotional issues. Mm-hmm. Like, because he always, like, drops this, like, little things where he's like, there's no pictures of me with my family because my dad would always kick me out of them, or, like, some shit like that. And then there's, like, it culminates in that episode where he, like, he meets up with his old frat buddies who turn out to be lizard people.
That's funny.
Yeah, and then they just go on about, like,
they keep hazing him.
Like, yeah, but he, like, is way too into it because he just... Yeah.
I was going to say that his character culminates in the episode where they go to the town that's stuck in the 80s.
Yeah.
And then it's revealed like he loves 80s shit so much because his parents would leave him alone with the fucking TV.
Well, but also it's because the TV shows like a picture of like a family who loves each other, and he didn't have that. Yeah, I don't know. I'm excited for the second part to come out.
Yeah, I'd like to see more of it for sure. Yeah. Also, Alex Hirsch involved.
Yeah. He's like involved, but people like were blowing him up too much. It's like, this is Alex Hirsch's new show, and he's like, no, it's Shion Takeuchi's. It's not mine.
It's not mine. I'm like just a producer on it.
He's a producer, and he did like one voice. He does the voice of Grassy Knoll.
Yeah, that's
a great joke. Funny. Like
Grassy Knoll, yeah.
He's the undercover assassin who kills everyone. His name is Grassy Knoll.
Yeah,
second shooter.
Because he killed fucking Kennedy,
JFK,
and then they have all the clones of Kennedy,
yeah.
and he has to kill them all. That's such a good bit.
Yeah, that's how they get rid of like lower the fucking shit. I can't remember. Lower the budget.
Yeah.
That's it is different that like so when I was trying to think of is like other examples of shows where it's like a guy's supposed to get a promotion but then someone else is brought in that takes over from him.
Yeah. I think that's like
usually it's like a guy who's like he's really good at his level because he's like really friendly. Like it's more often that it's a Brett that is the guy who's waiting for the promotion. Yeah. But and then like what's her name? Main girl comes like it would be like main girl comes in and like takes
she's just a bitch
because she's the competent like bitchy one.
But instead it's from her POV.
Also, glad that she got some dick. Like,
she fucks James Bond.
Yeah, well, yeah, I like that joke.
That's good.
Is that he's like a giant misogynist and just doesn't realize
he's like
women won't.
The only people who like you are people who don't have dads. I love it.
I think one of the best jokes in the show is in the second episode.
Yeah,
where they're talking to Mike, where Mike's talking about like how he's gone through like great changes, and she insults him, and he just goes like, "Eat shit, bitch," is something the old Mike would say. Brett Gelman is so good in that role. Yeah. Also, fucking William Dolphman or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
That one where they're like trying to figure out who the traitor is, and he just yells at him, is like, "Your name is Dolph, man. It's always been that, and then you became a half dolphin person."
Yeah. He's funny. He's funny.
Yeah.
The episode where who switches bodies with him? Is it Brett?
I don't know.
Yeah, it is because he's cute, and. The whole point is like, you know, because Brett is like an emotionally intelligent person, who like cares what other people think of him and like thinks good. He like talks to his wife.
Oh yeah, he gets back together with his ex-wife,
and he fucks the ex-wife.
Yeah,
it's funny.
Did you fuck my wife, son?
Yeah, and then he in his body tries to pick up chicks, but he's such a fucking weirdo that they end up leaving.
Yeah.
Even though he's hot, which is great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a good show.
Yeah, I enjoy that show. I also think it's funny that the main character is like super evil.
Yeah, like the first episode is about her trying to replace the president with a robot president.
Yeah,
so that they could control him better.
Yeah,
it's a good joke.
But like, it's not even like. I thought the show would be like, it's tough being an ethical person who works at an unethical company. And like, it sometimes is that, but most of the time it's like, no, I'm deeply unethical.
Yeah. And it's like Brett there as well to be like, isn't this wrong? And she's like, yes.
Yeah.
Or she's like, not to say wrong, but more unethical. Yeah. The show does its job, what it's supposed to be.
I like that her dad invented being a flat earther
to piss off the fucking government.
No, it was just a bit. Like he's like, I thought it would be funny.
Oh yeah, it's just that dude is just Christian Slater's really good.
Christian Slater's great.
Yeah,
he's really having his second wind as a career now. Because he's in Mr. Robot, right? That's him.
I don't know.
I always forget who the old guy in Mr. Robot is. His character is.
I know Rami Malek's in it.
Really? No, it's Christian Slater.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. Yeah, Christian Slater is the titular Mr. Robot.
What? He's Mr. Robot?
Yeah, that's his character's name. He's Mr. Robot. Elliot Alderson is the main character's name.
So, I played through over Christmas break mostly.
Mm-hmm.
What was supposed to be just Christmas break turned into I got COVID.
Yep.
I played all of Maneater, including the DLC.
Wow.
'Cause the DLC was like $10, and I got the game for free anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So the game is like decently fun, but it starts out as like underwater shark Dark Souls.
Yeah, I told you when you were playing that game, I was like, this game's not fucking fun.
Yeah, like when you're fighting against like alligators as like your strongest enemy, it's like you just take chomps at them until then you see they shine red, and then you like dodge away and then you just come back.
It's not even just Dark Souls. Like it's worse than that because you're underwater the whole fucking game.
Yeah, and then the perspective changes, and then all the fights end up way too close to the fucking like top of the water, and the top of the water has different cam levels. You can't see into the water when you're in the top.
And you just literally, it is the most like get in, hit once, get far away, get in, hit once, get far away.
I was hitting more than once, but yes, that is. But then by the time I was like probably the third zone, I was like, there's no issue anymore. I don't have to try.
Oh, great. So you got like to the overpowered point?
I wasn't even that overpowered. It was just like the game allows me to heal like really easily.
Oh, so it's not even a big deal.
Yeah, so like because all you have to do is like to heal in that game is like, oh, I'm getting my ass kicked. Leave, go find something to eat, like like a grouper or something, and you get most of your health back.
Yeah, like I think that game, and I know this is going to be controversial, is worse than Jaws Unleashed.
I never played Jaws Unleashed, so I don't know.
Jaws Unleashed isn't that great, but like it's not hard. It's very easy. Because it's like a power fantasy. You're just playing as a fucking shark and you get to kill whatever
this game's definitely a power fantasy as well. It just gets kind of annoying.
It's just more annoying. It's just more like random mechanics, and it's like you get in hard fights that don't need to be hard.
What is fun though is that like Chris Parnell is the narrator of like this nature show that's like keeping track of you the whole time. Yeah. It's like two competing fucking nature shows happening at the same time.
Yeah.
Where Chris Parnell is making these constant jokes that's like, you'll find like radioactive waste that you can eat. And Chris Parnell makes a joke about how like, actually, it's good for the sharks on a study conducted by uraniums for families or some shit. Or like you'll find like a signpost and it's like a meme. Like there's one where you find fucking SpongeBob's house at the bottom of the ocean.
Like a little pineapple
house?
It's
like sea sponges love to live in these, and they particularly make friends with squids. They don't make friends with squids, but are loved by starfish or some shit. Yeah. But like, there's a bunch of like Chris Parnell really sells the whole narrative of the game. Mm-hmm. But then also there's this fucking guy, the guy who kills your mom and like fucking aborts you at the beginning of the game. Yeah. He goes through this like Captain Ahab level shit.
Yeah.
Where like he starts off as like he like wants to fight you, and then you grow to like the adult size, and you do a fight against him, and you end up getting his son killed. So then he comes back, and he has like a hook hit, like his whole arm is now like full on, like he lost all of it, not just the nub. It's like now like a full robot hook and shit, and like he lost all of his hair, like half his face is scarred. And the game is like you get and go and fight him on like this massive rig, where you have to grab torpedoes that get fired at you and whip them at his fucking boat.
Damn.
It's just like so ridiculous. And then you end up killing him, and then that's just the end of the game. And it's just like, well, people are still going to go to the beach, and you're a mega-sized fucking bull shark. So it's dumb. But like I went and I literally completed everything. It was just like enjoyable to swim around. Like not a lot of like once you get past the challenging part, I would say it's
you
close.
Coast, you know.
What?
You just coast.
Yeah, it's closer to Jaws Unleashed.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh fuck it, I'm just gonna
see. I just think that's like not great. That's not a very compelling difficulty curve.
Yeah.
Because it's well, other than the tutorial, which is easy, obviously, but it starts. It starts hard. Yeah, it starts hard and gets easy, which is the opposite of most video games.
I think it's the opposite.
Huh?
It starts easy because you start out as the mama shark.
But that's like 5 minutes. That takes no time at all.
But this hand is the bottom, okay? This is the baseline. This is where it's at its hardest. You start here, and then you do that shit. You get killed. You go down to baby level. Hardest the game is. But then it's like a slow. It's like a slow but rapid hard. It's an incline.
Yeah.
Where it's like until you hit teen level, it's like incredibly hard, and then you hit adult, and you're all the way up. You're like you're as strong as your mom. Then you hit mega, and you get other abilities, and then you're like above the fucking curve.
Yeah.
It's super hard to like it's super hard to suck at it. Even the DLC, the DLC is hilarious because you get it. It's called Truth. It's called Truth Quest because the guy who created the show, the shark show that originally was tracking you, goes fucking insane. It's still Chris Parnell.
Yeah.
But now he's like a QAnon, like
Alex Jones.
Yeah, he like turns into an Alex Jones type.
Oh, that's funny.
And then you go into this military base where there is sharks that have your fucked up crazy mutant DNA. Because you can get like those electric powers and shit. Mm-hmm. And so you go and kill all of them, but by killing them you unlock radiation powers. Mm-hmm. And eventually you become a nuclear warhead shark.
That's awesome.
Where you get your final like ultimate ability once you like fully equip everything is your fucking you shoot like a radiation laser like your Godzilla.
That's fucking
and
great.
You could shoot like a bunch of them, and like so I went and killed everything. I beat the Leviathan with this fucking ability. It's so strong.
That's great.
Yeah. So it's like the game just gets kind of silly and fun, but
it's just hard at the very start. Yeah.
To get through the bad part of the game.
Which, in my opinion, if I were designing a game, you'd put the grind in the middle.
Absolutely.
Right? Like, you know, you want to start where it's like you get them hooked on the immediate, right? Immediate, like you might go after something big and have a tough fight, right? But ultimately, you're like swimming around, you're like having a little bit of fun. You're a big fish in a small pond.
Yeah.
Then you become a small fish in a big pond in the middle, and you want to grind your way up to becoming.
I would have personally. I think it would have been better if they started you as the mother, and then you played longer. Like a good hour and a half, instead of it being like 20 minutes at best.
I'm just...
And then maybe preview
It's funny because the thing I'm describing is like, just make the game Symphony of the Night.
Yeah, exactly.
Make the game Symphony
well, like the game has like, because of that opening, it does have like Symphony of the Night aspects.
It's like almost there, but you start strong, you get weak, just like the beginning of Symphony of the Night. But the difference is Symphony of the Night is balanced. Like... So that, like, at the beginning, you're still fighting. Like, yes, you do have to hit enemies a bunch of times to kill them. But the enemies aren't super hard because it gets that you're going to be going through it multiple times. Symphony of the Night... I'm going to make a real controversial opinion here. Symphony of the Night is a good game.
Was that not a... Do people not...
No, that's a joke. That was what we call a joke.
Oh, okay. I'm going to make a real controversial opinion here.
Yeah.
Metroid Dread's awesome.
True. You know what? Brave statement, but true.
Thank you. I'm going to make this statement real quick.
Yeah.
Grand Theft Auto 5, overrated.
But that is more brave, actually.
No, I don't think so.
Well, overrated... You know what? You're right. Overrated is like...
I think people use overrated the wrong way.
Over and underrated, I think, are really overused terms that don't mean shit.
I think people keep using them incorrectly. Like, underrated is supposed to be something where it's like... Either people don't know enough about it, or it's getting shittier, like bad ratings, but in your opinion doesn't deserve it.
Yeah.
Like people do most on TikTok.
Yeah.
I like a lot of One Piece content on there because especially when Zoro the Minority Hunter was going around.
Yeah.
Did we have the podcast at that? Was that during the sick weeks?
No, it might have been.
Someone put it together that Zoro from One Piece only fights black characters.
That's awesome.
And so they made a joke about Zoro like just being an utter racist and making everyone uncomfortable.
Zoro's a peacemaker.
Hey, he's gonna try and fight more white villains next time.
I'm gonna kill more white people now. But honestly, I do like that.
But people will be like most underrated scenes, and then it's like
any fight scene.
It'll be like the fight. It'll be like Luffy versus Doflamingo, and it's like, bro, everyone loved that scene, or like. Yeah. Luffy versus Z in Film Z. It's like that movie made like I think it's one of the higher box offices in Japan.
Yeah,
it's like they use underrated as being like people don't talk about it enough, and I'm like just because people don't talk about it doesn't mean it's fucking underrated.
Yeah, underrated is unknown or lesser known or lesser liked. Like,
underrated can't be used anymore because there's like no more hidden gems.
That. You know what? I've come across a similar thing. Like, what is mainstream anymore? Like, what is like...
Yeah,
what is a hidden
everything
gem?
on the internet has its own niche little community. You can't be
Yeah.
like if you were like, oh, my favorite thing to watch is like I think my favorite type of media to consume is like old French cinema, and it's like, oh, go to Reddit/old French cinema or whatever.
And it's
the
like
fuck.
It's like yeah,
and it has like 500,000 people. It's like you're not
Right.
underground.
I'm quirky. My favorite movie is
500 Days of Summer.
No, 400 Blows, and it's like, yeah, French New Wave is huge. That movie's in the fucking Criterion Collection.
I really
it's
like the
not...
movie Kings of Summer, and it's like, yeah, you and fucking 80 other people born from the, who was like a teenager in those between the fucking years the movie came out.
Kings of Summer is a pretty good movie. Like, it's a good movie.
Like, I'm sure there's like some fucking kid out there now who's trying to act like King of Staten Island is an unknown movie because it's on Amazon Prime Video and not the other
and not on Netflix.
Ones.
Like,
yeah, it's not a Netflix or a Disney Plus movie, so it's unknown.
King of Staten Island is like a huge movie, and it's directed by fucking Judd Apatow.
It's
like,
starring like
one of the biggest comedians currently.
One of the biggest comedians, Bill Burr.
Yeah.
Fucking Steve Buscemi's in that movie.
Yeah.
Like, it's not unknown.
Lou Wilson's in that movie.
Oh yeah, he is. Isn't he like his stoner friend?
Yeah.
Did you hear that Lou Wilson's new job?
Yeah, he's so he was a writer on Kimmel, not Fallon,
and now he's the
announcer.
And now Jimmy Kimmel is like, people are trying to cancel the show.
Why are they trying to cancel this show?
He's made some, like, I wouldn't say these jokes are that bad. I think they're standard for Kimmel.
Oh, the Man Show or whatever?
No, not the Man Show. People have kind of dropped that.
People have dropped the fact that he made a show that was like extremely gross and rapey.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then it's like there's who's the guy? Adam
Driver?
No. The guy, his partner from the Man Show.
Oh,
he played the pig in fucking Drawn Together. Like, that's all I can remember right now.
He's like alt-right.
He is, yeah, but he, like, when people brought up the Man Show to him, he tries to claim that it's Jimmy Kimmel's. That was like a Kimmel thing. Like, he was the one who really pushed that show. Because if you go back and watch old episodes of it,
I'm sure it was Kimmel.
Kimmel put like the most effort into like.
He seems like a real dipshit.
Yeah, I'm not saying he doesn't. But then Kimmel's like, no, it was the other guys who were really into the idea. And it's like, no, you both were fucking into it.
Like, stop it. Yeah, you're both trying to save yourself.
He made like a comment. This one's like reaching, but I can understand how that people are making the reach. Like, I can see the path you can take. Is that he was talking about how like COVID and its variances is like boy bands. But then he's talking about
what
like
fucking year do you live in, Kimmel?
Backstreet Boys to like NSYNC, and then Boys to Men, and then he stops there. Which I'm guaranteed, if he wrote that, whoever wrote that joke probably wrote it to continue on into K-pop and stuff. But there's some sensible person in the writers' room who are like, no, if you want to make the joke, you stop at American boy bands.
Yeah,
like. I'm saying you can see the it's a reach.
Throw One Direction in there.
You can see where my arm is going the whole way.
Right.
It's a reach, but it's a one-piece reach where I'm like, oh, I see where the two pieces are.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it's over that. It's over various comments. Like, he's just kind of like... Kimmel is like the kind of dude who refuses to become... Like, Kimmel thinks he's like the different one. He's like, I'm not a Fallon. I'm not a Leno. One guy who's not even on the air anymore.
Yeah.
He wants to be Conan, where Conan could just make jokes and say things, but Conan wasn't a dickhead. Or Conan did dickishness in like a different way.
Yeah, Conan's character is an egomaniac dick, but it works because he's funny.
And it was only to his like subordinates.
Yeah.
It wasn't to his guests.
Well, yeah.
Well, it would be sometimes to his guests, but like really quickly.
And he also like Conan, do you know what it is? It's like not even the things Conan says. It's just that he is a good performer and makes it funny.
Yeah.
Because like you can talk about Conan's bits and you're like, yeah, Conan's bits are that he's an asshole, but that he's stupid, and also he's horny a lot. Also, and it's like that's not necessarily funny, but he makes it funny because he's entertaining.
And also, like, if you think of their accolades and stuff, like where they come from as writers, it's like Kimmel, writer and creator of The Man Show. Also, of various other things, but like, that's the biggest one.
Simpsons for Conan.
Yeah, no, Simpsons, SNL. He wrote for SNL during some of the good years.
I would say most important for Conan is Simpsons.
Yeah,
he is such that kind of
without
humor.
his SNL writing job, he wouldn't have got The Simpsons.
Yeah,
but I'm saying accolades, so you can have more than one.
Yeah. But I think like Conan wrote some of the best Simpsons episodes.
Yeah,
like I think he wrote fucking Marge versus the Monorail, which is my favorite.
Oh, I just watched that episode.
That episode slaps.
I've been watching the earlier episodes again.
Yeah,
and granted, I fucking hate the later episodes of The Simpsons now.
Yeah,
it started because I saw this clip on TikTok. It was talking shit about modern Simpsons.
Yeah,
but there's a point in the show where I guess in a more recent episode, like season 46 now or something, probably later than that.
Yeah.
Where Marge says that Homer doesn't spend enough time with Maggie.
Yeah.
And so it's him trying to go like have a day out with Maggie.
Mm-hmm. And
he like fucking he calls her the wrong name. Like he calls her like Morgie or something. Mm-hmm. Like he doesn't recognize. It's like he's treating Maggie like how fucking Family Guy, like how Peter treats Meg in Family Guy.
Yeah.
And it's like that's not how Homer is. There's a fucking episode where the reason why the kids thought Maggie might have been adopted because they didn't have baby pictures because they're all at work. So Homer doesn't lose his will to live because he knows he has to step up and do something greater.
Yeah, like
to beg on his hands and knees for his job back.
That's stupid.
Yeah, it's horrible. And then now I'm also seeing Principal Skinner's shit with his mother. I know this is the classic one that everyone says, but goddamn, that fucking that episode, the Principal and the Pauper, literally ruins the show.
Yeah,
it deletes everything, and also there's fucking good jokes, Homer just not caring about anyone else that isn't in his family, but also caring incredibly about the fucking episode where Ned opens up the Lefty store, and you see instead of Ned just being ugly duckly the whole time and I'll just roll him with the punches, you see Ned go through legitimately distress, and Homer having a come to God moment where he's oh, I've been seeing how I've
treated this person guy poorly. Yeah,
and he decides to turn it around. There's episodes where he changes up how he deals with Flanders. Mm-hmm. And he treats him like a friend sometimes. But then in the modern one, it's Flanders is this punching bag that Homer just beats the shit out of.
Yeah.
Yeah. So old Simpson's good. I really didn't want to be that dude.
Yeah.
But goddamn, Eye Patch Wolf and all those sources he had in that video is fucking correct.
Yeah, and that's not to say that there can't be good episodes of modern Simpsons or even good bits. I think there's some bits that frequently get referenced that are quite recent.
There's a pretty good one where they get trapped in the San Francisco Bay, or they're boat or whatever. They land, they're in the bay somehow, and Lisa's quick, swim to San Francisco, and Peter's fuck, see Peter, it's the same fucking show.
Yeah.
Homer is no,
it's just
swim
devolved
to Oakland. I'm not made of money.
That's a good joke.
Yeah.
What else was we were going to say about Simpsons? I don't know. Anyway, hey Ian, have you seen Odd Taxi?
I have not, but I've heard it was really good.
It's really good. It's like a Coen Brothers movie if it was an anime. I don't want to keep going because this is a really long podcast at this point. We're at 2 hours 45. So yeah, Odd Taxi, great. Check it out on Crunchyroll. Yeah. Keep your hands off Azukin.
Here, how about for that one?
Yeah.
Because I've watched a bit of that, so we can actually talk about it.
Yeah.
Let's just save it. Next week,
we'll talk about Izuku.
Let's start with the stuff you missed out this week.
Yeah.
We'll talk about Hawkeye.
Yep.
And then we'll do the Holies.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, Hawkeye. The last episode.
It's been a month now.
Last episode, a little bit disappointed.
Really? Well, we'll talk about it next week.
All right. See you next time. Bye-bye.